here joining us right now. Let's see who we can. Okay, while we wait for all of them to join us, let me quickly say this right here and right now that there will be giveaways.
Yay! For us?
Excuse me.
I thought the listeners sent in gifts for us. I mean, for a change.
No.
For once, right?
No.
Wait, not giveaways.
There will be giveaways to our listeners.
Well,
I
still,
thought it was
yay!
Sandra, I can't hear you. What did you say?
I said, what's the meaning of that?
What do you mean? What's the what do you mean? What's the meaning of that?
Am I not a listener?
No,
Uh-huh.
you are not.
That's it.
You are not a listener. No, you are not a listener. You're an OAP and you are not getting the gift. Plain and simple. Let's also speak with Emmanuel Etim, who is the head of sports, Cool Wazobia Info. Emmanuel, good morning to you. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, Sheriff. Good morning, Sandra. Don't know why she looks like she wants to take a passport photograph or something. I don't know.
Wow, what a shade.
But it's great to be part of the conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Let's delve into it. While others are ready to join, we'll go straight into it. Let's also make it known that the giveaways will have some really simple, straightforward questions that we can, be able to give people the opportunity to win stuff on the Roundtable this morning. I am Sheriff Quadri. Welcome and thank you for joining us. If you're watching online, we're live on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube. Feel free to join our conversation this morning. We're going to start from January, by the way. Let's just delve into it. The year opened with quite some unrest in parts of the country in January. 1st of January, we had the Nigeria Air Force destroyed a Boko Haram settlement at Manawaji in Borno State, killing dozens of the insurgents. Also in January, we had the Sunday Igboho drama, where I think that we're going to delve in. A lot of people have said quite a number of things as regards the advent of Sunday Igboho into the conversation in Nigeria generally. People have said non-state actors, when you give them opportunities like this, it shows a failure on the part of the government. Some are saying, look, perhaps not the failure, perhaps it could just all be political. I'm going to start with Sandra on this issue of non-state actors in participating covertly or overtly in the affairs of the country, and you have them almost everywhere. Sunday will just happen to surface from nowhere, but they've always been non-state actors. Sandra, what are your thoughts as regards this generally?
So is this just me, or can I not? Can we not hear Sheriff? Because your voice was sounding very, very.
Oh,
Yeah, at a point I thought the aliens had invaded the studio.
are you serious?
Wow.
Okay, now
And then I'll say something.
okay, fantastic. So let me begin from the studio then.
The same mechanical sound.
Oh, okay, fantastic. The tech guys are currently working on the audio stuff, so we can put that together before we come to those online. Before I bring in those online, and of course the people in the studio, Iriti Bakari just walked in. She is the host of our newest show on radio. She's the driver of the Danfo that
Nigerian for yellow
yes,
Danfo.
exactly.
Molue driver.
Well, no, Danfo is different to Molue. Thank
Yes,
you
it
very
is.
much. But we will be having Molue soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
Good morning.
Hello.
Iriti, welcome to the show.
It's interesting how you all forget the Yusuf part. So it's Ireti Bakari
Yusuf.
But to you, my love, Ireti Bakari will do.
All right, thank you.
Morning, everybody. Morning, listeners. Thank you. I'm looking forward to this, right? So this is my
Right.
first time we've been a part of this.
That's right.
It's going to be fun.
I heard Sandra. I heard some of my other favorite hosts.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to it. This should be great.
Fantastic.
And it's quite unique, so well done.
Thank you. So let's start from the studio this morning. Once we get confirmation that Sandra and Emmanuel can hear us, then we'll come to them. But let me start with you, Wemimo, on the advent of non-state actors, aka Sunday Igboho, aka the other ones, that are in the news, basically. What's your thought on that? Non-state actors.
Okay, so when I hear non-state actors, my mind goes first to international systems and non-state actors, But in Nigeria, interestingly, Sunday Igboho became, popular because of insecurity that appeared that nobody was able to handle. That was when we had a lot of killings of farmers in Oyo State.
Right.
The state government was practically silent. The federal government was also mute. And, when people begin to see that the government is not standing in for them, there's this unsettlement in the people. So Sunday Igboho, in fact, it was in January that I knew him. I had to go read up about him and say, oh, who's this man?
Right.
Because I saw videos of him wearing, this Abidjan kind of thing under his clothes. So, obviously he had charms on him. So I thought it was a very interesting character.
Yeah.
And the kind of followership he had. So one of the videos I first
was
saw,
quite huge, though.
he was standing on a podium,
Yeah.
something like the Awolowo's kind of stadiums, and people all around him chanting and saying, yeah, anything he says, yeah. So he came a kind of hero. Unfortunately, he didn't get on the right side of the government, but it shows a genuine need to tackle insecurity issues. And if we do not tackle those issues and listen to the people, we're going to have more non-state actors in the like of Sunday Igboho who will rise up across the country.
Iriti?
Well, this is the thing. You're quite right. The problem with non-state actors is they are literally uncontrollable. So, and often we have to look at it. What is the motivation? What is their motivation? Because look, for every leader, there's a personal ambition, right? And that's my problem with the likes of Sunday Igboho. That's my problem with non-state actors, because where the rest of us and those who work within the state have to stick within a rule, and they can only say so much. And, you're not allowed to incite violence. You're not to make outrageous demands and declarations. They get away with that. Okay, and so that's where they become very, very problematic for me. Because, of course, Robin Hood might have been good for some. He was bad for others.
That's right.
Now, let's bring it home. So why are they there? It is, like you rightly said, because the government is letting the people down. And where government continues to fail in its expectations, where government continues to fail in their job,
Right.
the people have the right to turn to whoever they believe is speaking for them. Let's be frank. That is why we are all here.
Right.
That's one of the powers of radio, and that's one of the powers of this station, Nigeria Info. So it should have been a wake-up call, right, to the government that, hang on a minute, we've got the likes of IPOB, we've got Sunday Igboho, we have the Northern, I think it's called Northern Leaders Coalition, I can't remember what they're called. You've got all these non-state actors rising up and, proclaiming to speak for the people. Whereas the people who were voted in to act for the people are failing to act. And that tells us that we are more and more, never mind slowly, we are more and more declining to a place where we shouldn't be.
Right.
Now, what should government do? One of the things that you see with regards to Igboho is that the minute the Yoruba Afenifere saw that he was gaining lots and lots of, prominence and followers, they quickly stepped in. They brought him in, they stepped in, and they started to speak, because that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You need to use your voice to drown the voice of the non-state actors. And the only way you can do that is for the people to see you, feel you, and hear you loudly, for you to speak their language. So you have Afenifere who started to speak. They rose up more. Yes, they're all old. I mean, gosh, the leader of Afenifere is like 80-something.
Over almost 90.
There you go. And that's disturbing in itself, but let's put that aside, because I'm sure we'll get to the point of talking about
We will.
age. So that's the kind of thing the Nigerian government needs to do. And you've got to ask yourself, this is where communication comes in, because you cannot understand me. You do not know how me as a citizen, how us as a citizen, how we are feeling, unless you truly communicate and engage with us. And that's what Sunday Igboho and his likes are doing very
Some
well.
people are filling the void left open by the government themselves. I'm going to come to Sandra right now. Sandra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And I also heard Wemimo and Iriti Bakari Yusuf very clearly. And they've basically covered the why of it, and also, gone on to give solutions to this problem. If the government were serious about solving this problem, they would listen to what Ireti Bakari Yusuf had to say. Because if there's, it's a cliche saying at this point, but it's a saying for a reason. Nature abhors a vacuum.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if government isn't going to do its job, unsavory characters are going to rise and try to do that job. And they're not going to follow rule of law, they're not going to follow due process, they're not going to be constrained by all of the constraints that state actors often have to deal with, and they're not going to speak pretty, they're not going to perfume it, they're going to say it as it is, and they're going to act in the way that the people will look at and even hail. So if the government wants to nip this thing, well, we've gone past the point of nipping it in the bud, to be very honest with you. So if the government wants to prevent a future where we have more non-state actors rising,
Right.
you know what to do. Just listen to what Ireti Bakari Yusuf said a few seconds ago and implement it. And I can swear to you, Sheriff, I think the government actually knows what to do. I don't think there's just a lot of political will to
I
do
agree.
it.
Indeed. Now, because of time, Emmanuel, let me quickly come to you. Because of time, we're going to move on straight to our next conversation. But before we do that, let me hear what Emmanuel has got to say concerning non-state actors. Because if you look at how the story of Sunday Igboho emerged, you'll be shocked at how it quickly degenerated very quickly. Because when he emerged, he gave an ultimatum for the Serikin Fulani in Ibarapa, to vacate that area, which eventually led to what happened just the other day, the violence, the killing, the maiming and everything in Ibarapa. So you could actually see that it's so to some people, like Oyimo said, it could be a hero. To some others, it could be a foe. But whatever it is, it's right here in front of us. The killing that followed that ultimatum that he gave to Serikin Fulani in Ibarapa local government. And it's been almost all through the southwestern states, doing rallies every here and there. And you could see crowd at every of his rallies. It's just amazing. But Emmanuel, let me come to you on what your position is on this. Okay, I think I've lost Emmanuel. Emmanuel is no more there. We'll come to that in a moment. But let's quickly go on. I'm hearing words that some of our guys who are planning to join via Skype, they are facing the devil of the Skype because their networks have been quite poor. They're sending me messages everywhere that help us. Our network is bad. Help
So
us.
how are you going to help? How are you going to do that?
Just keep trying, yeah? Keep trying. Now, ladies, I'm the only man here. Eh?
You're
This is a trap,
welcome.
Abby.
You should be
Okay.
glad.
You should feel safe.
Yeah, I should feel safe, Abby.
Yes.
Ah, thank God. The defender of the universe is here.
Hey, Chukudi.
Chukudi is here.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria.
yeah.
Good morning to the esteemed panelists present.
That's
God bless
the
Nigeria.
vibe.
God bless Nigeria.
Fantastic.
And Chukudi and I are matching my dress and your hat.
Yes.
Perfectly.
Telepathy.
Let me quickly move on, Chukudi. Thank you for coming around, Chukudi. Chukudi is the host of Community Report and the rest of fantastic shows that he anchors here on Nigeria Info. Emmanuel, let me hear your thoughts concerning our first conversation, non-state actors in the polity. And we're looking at, I know. We're looking at
This is a very
Sunday
awkward
Igboho.
question, I'm upset.
I know.
I'm sure he's waiting for the sports topic. Hey.
No, he must talk on
You
this.
must, because you're a Nigerian, hey?
Exactly.
Shame on you, Sandra, for laughing, but I heard it. I'm
Sorry.
almost losing my voice now, but
Yes.
I'm going to make my family proud. But basically, I honestly think, no laughing, please. This is. I'm Nigerian info, so news should be a part of me.
Uh-huh.
Bottom line, Sheriff, for conversations that you're not familiar with, you've got to speak less than 10 seconds. I honestly think if there was no room for insecurity,
Yeah.
men like Sunday Igboho, I'm sure that's how it's pronounced.
Yes.
Practically just come to the forefront. But this sort of activities or activism, as the case is born out of necessity. I'm not certain anyone who's concerned about the well-being of the people around him would sit arms folded and allow certain threats not only to life but also to properties to be prevalent. So I think if it's a hero, if it's not a hero, that's based on personal belief. For those who are close to him, they would always see him as their Messiah. As long as they can sleep eyes closed, then they would worship him. And for those who are, far off, they would see this as miniature revolution style. So I think it depends on the divide you're in. That's when you'd estimate or classify him being a hero or not. But again, it's based on necessity. If we had security, if we didn't have security concerns, particularly in that part of Nigeria, I'm not sure men like him would be part of the roundtable today.
Indeed. Thank you, Mano.
I did great.
Yes, you did great.
Welcome.
You did great. You did
We're
awesome.
proud of you.
Chukudi, are you with us?
Yes, very much with us.
Let me hear your thought on Sunday Igbo's conversation.
Okay, so this is what I think. The very essence of government is protecting and promoting the interest of the citizenry. Now, when people come out, in general elections to exercise their right to franchise, you cede that power to a group of people. But these people need to understand that it is leadership by servitude. So you should protect us. When you hear people who are public officials and who have been in government for a very long time say things like, I wonder how you would just look without doing anything when people come to attack you. It gives people that feeling of helplessness. And when somebody rises to defend their interest, they would see the person as a messiah. I saw a video purportedly from Ekiti State, when Chief Sunday Adeyemo, aka Igboho, visited the state. I dare say that even the governor, the current governor of the state, will not get that kind of reception if they don't share something to party members. People came out in their numbers, and this particular action has been replicated in other states, and he's still maintaining that in Lagos on the 3rd of July, people would also come out in their numbers.
That's right.
Now, when the people are helpless, they look at these people and look up to them and say, these people are going to save us. Especially where you have situations where it looks like, in taking action, you are sectional. For some people, you would go all out and deal with them. For other people, you say, well, we have done this and we have done that. Let's discuss with them. So people begin to feel like you don't care about them. And when people feel that they are not a part of the collective, it would result in serious problems. What do we know Sunday Igboho for? I grew up in Lagos reading about him as one of the, defenders of the Modakeke people during the Ife and Modakeke crisis.
Exactly.
So if we allow people like this carry on in this manner, where we are going to, it is not a matter of God forbid, or it is not my portion, or my case is different.
Gentlemen.
All the signs are clear that we are going to end up in a very difficult situation.
Let's not end up being cut off by the ads. We're going to go on a break right now. When we return from the ad break, we'll continue with our conversation. Lagos, you're welcome to Roundtable here on Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. Do join us again.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000. Hi! I beg. Where on they see this money? Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus we get the summer me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge. Oh boy, what's up for me now? You know say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
You asked for it and it's back.
It's the Roundtable here, special broadcast on Nigeria Info. We've got the entire team here.
Oh my God, the year of first. That's what 2020 has been. It's the year of first.
You're doing empowerment for youth. You give them bikes, you give them marijuana, and then years after, you tell them not to use them.
I feel like there's a huge disconnect between the government
It's the Nigeria Info Roundtable.
and the actual consequence of poverty in Nigeria.
These are debts that can be avoidable if we just do the right thing.
All your favorite Nigeria Info presenters on air at the same time.
And the third person was an entrepreneur.
We missed the second person.
They all,
we missed the second
person. The first person, Sheriff, I can send it to you on WhatsApp.
All the biggest stories from the first half of 2021. Analyzed by the biggest voices on radio.
I am Sheriff Quadri, Lagos, Nigeria.
My name is Wemimo Adewinis.
You're hanging out with the tech as steel.
My name's Joyce Onyemowa.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Date 28th of June, Monday. Time 9 a.m. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You get money for account. You want take small thing inside. Just do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Oga, madam, where is your card? I don't forget them for house. If you do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Anytime you need the money, but your card is there for yonder. Just go do cardless withdrawal with any Momo
withdraw money even if you not hold your card for any Momo agents where they near you. Just dial star 223 hash to take touchlight the Momo agent where they near your domot. Momo agent. Safe, fast, no wahala.
The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, a tournament with a difference, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide.
They seem to keep hold of the ball, see so much of the ball, but at the end of the day, they tend to do little or nothing with the ball.
Floated into the box! It's in!
A player who's been having a renaissance after season.
He connected to the pass like a socket, fired the shot like a rocket.
From no other person but Rafael Varane.
What they want to do is sit back, where your weaknesses, and then when they get the ball, they counter-attack you.
It was a brilliant piece of play by Karim Benzema. But they decided against that counter-attack and go all the way back.
That's beautiful! Trent Alexander-Arnold, 38 meters. This is your goal of the week.
When you defend, you can defend for 91 minutes, and just for 1 minute, everything will change.
He completes his hat-trick. He's in the pursuit of perfection.
Best days are behind him already, and young managers are picking up the man.
Covering every blade of grass for a full month from 11th June to 11th July 2021 on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 on Nigeria Info. It's live football, just the way you like it.
With Airtel Home Broadband device, your home is connected and you all can focus on the important things in life.
Enjoy the finer things in life in the Airtel HBB seasonal offer. Visit any certified Airtel shop to get a 4G MiFi at 9,999 Naira plus up to 55 GB bonus data, or router at 19,999 Naira plus up to 160 GB bonus data. Offer valid while stock lasts. Terms and conditions apply.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hey, Alpha now. You start your day like this. Everything is going well until the unexpected happens. Then, hey, the bass boss begin.
No, it's you. How would you hit me?
If you get our Flexi Comprehensive Motor Insurance Plan, you can save yourself and the painful cost of repairing the damage to your vehicle for as low as 15,000 Naira a year. If someone bashes your car, we pay to get it fixed. Visit www.hairsinsurance.com or call 0700 434 7764 to get the Hairs Flexi Motor Plan. Hairs Insurance, your simple, smart protection.
In the information era, facts, events, and news are available at the click of a button. The information flow is enormous, which makes the financial markets unpredictable. As a trader, you need to have a strategy, and most importantly, you need a trustworthy partner that will simplify things for you. Hot Forex is serious about its responsibilities to you. With its origin dating back to 2010, we are a multi-regulated broker with over 2 million live accounts, wide global presence, more than 35 international awards, tight spreads, multiple assets, reliable fast execution, technological innovation, and multiple account types. The Hot Forex team is always ready to deliver trading services and free trading education that you can rely on every time. And this is not just a mission, it's a promise. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Centers at 3rd floor, Warala House, 90 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, or call 0908-517-6394 or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
Hello, good afternoon. How may I help you, please?
Yes, I would like to buy data to watch plenty videos. You know now, music, sports, in short, everything on YouTube.
What is your budget, sir?
As low as possible.
Well, how does 50 Naira for an hour sound?
50 Naira for 1 hour? Ha! Talk true!
Yes, with Glow YouTube plan, you can stream all your favorite YouTube videos for as low as 50 naira.
Hey, what do I do?
Simply dial *777# to get started.
Get the super affordable YouTube time-based plans from Glow and start feasting on your favorite YouTube videos for as low as 50 naira for 1 hour during the day and 50 naira for 5 hours at night. Dial *777#, select data, select social bundle, and select YouTube to choose the Glow YouTube plan that's just right for you.
Glow Unlimited. Station with the information you need.
Those who constructed our port knew, I believe, that trucks coming to load must have to park there and wait for their turn to load. That was why the spaces were provided. Now you came and sold those spaces and congested everywhere. Then truck who want to load now will not park along the road. It doesn't work.
We don't micromanage this committee from Abuja. No, it's a local affair. These are people who know the people within the state and who know who those who actually did these jobs within the state.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This
is a Nigeria Info special broadcast.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Lovely morning to you if you are just tuning in. Welcome to the Roundtable special broadcast here. I am Sheriff Quadri and I have the cast on the show already. Before the break, we're talking about non-state actors that kind of like surfaced to the public full-time, full-blown in January this year. And we couldn't take all the contributions at that time. But Ufoma is here. Ufoma, good morning to you. Ufoma is the head of news school at Zobia Lagos and also a sports member of the family and the gang. Ufoma, good morning.
Good morning to you, Sheriff. Good morning, everyone.
Now, let me get your thought on the non-state actors that we started with. Sunday Igbo, Nnamdi Kanu, just name them. They're everywhere.
Well, I think almost everybody who's talked about this has actually said a lot and hit the nail on the head. I just talk a little about Nnamdi Kanu, who, like a lot of us have actually said, when there's a vacuum, when there's a space, when it feels like the government isn't acting, or when it feels like the government is supporting one section as opposed to the other, you allow these state actors coming into being. I remember that before 2015, Nnamdi Kanu has been in the news, or he's been there. But Nnamdi Kanu's prominence before 2015 is not the same as what it is after 2015. And why is this so? Because unfortunately, the government at the center has sort of targeted him, quote and unquote. Now, this is not me trying to make a case for him. I think I have my own reservations, big reservations about what he's saying. The fake news, he broadcasts, the way he goes against the state, some of the things he says. If you've been opportune to listen to what do they call that? His broadcast again, you just ask yourself, what nonsense.
I usually don't stay longer than 5 minutes.
In fact, I can't stand itself. That's how terrible it is. But you see, since 2015, there's been a way the present government, has sort of related or quote unquote attacked him, and his proscribed group, and more or less, instead of making things better, it's actually made more people have sympathy for him. So the people who ideally would not have listened to him, the people who ideally would think that what he's saying is fake news, have seen a few of the things he said come to light or come to pass over the last 5-6 years. And when you create that kind of vacuum, well, you only just make things worse.
Indeed. Lagos, if you're joining us right now, you're welcome. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube as well. Feel free to let us know what you think. As we pick the topics one after the other, we would like to hear from you as well. So we'll be going into the calls and the messages on social media. If you got anything to say concerning what we're talking about, feel free to drop us your message on Facebook and on YouTube where we're streaming live, or on WhatsApp. You can also call in on 0700 993 993 993 and 014657190 if you'd like to share your thoughts. So we'll be taking one or two calls as we move on along on the show today. So let's start with this caller here. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
That's a super.
It said, wow.
Yeah. Now you talk.
It said, wow.
Yeah. Now you talk.
It said, wow.
Yeah.
It said, wow.
Yeah. Now you talk.
Welcome, Ebuka. Welcome.
Wow. Okay, for Nigeria case, honestly, I was just thinking about it. If there's unity of purpose, a aim, this is a blueprint that we're working with in this country, there won't be all this oversight. Honestly, because it seems as if everybody just speaking their mind. I know there's individual differences from the parties and everything, but looking from other clients, what are we like? We are blessed. Mention it. There is. And we have capable hands. Okenjiwala, the Ezekwesiri, Elumelu Dem. The other day we were talking about African clinical UBA stuff. And these guys, they are sound, but the leaders we have here, as in, to an extent, I have to go off Nigerian news. But yet, even if you go off a month and come back, you will have times 4 of the news they are giving us. So I think
the thing you ran away from.
If there's unity of purpose, a blueprint, knowing there's a better tomorrow, a structure, a plan, it will help.
Ebuka, thank you very much, Ebuka, for calling me. Let's take one more before we go on to our next highlights. Good morning to you.
Hi, gentlemen and ladies. I'm enjoying your conversation. This is Alex.
Welcome, Alex. Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to quickly point out something about non-state actors. They come about, you see, non-state actors is about power, right? They are either taking advantage of the gaps in government, or in some cases, they deliberately create, problems that lead to gaps in government, and then they want to position themselves. They want to implant themselves in those places as if they are solving some of the challenges of state. If the government were responsible enough to be able to, first of all, encourage people to work for what they earn, and ensure you pay people who work for what they, who work. You find out that the issue of state non-state actors, people are just trying to divide the state into small portions that will profit their own individual, their own personal interest. That's all state actors. So it's still about governance lacking. If government fits up, then there will be reduced incidence of non-state actors.
Thank you, Alex, for calling. Appreciate it. Now, let's move on to our next conversation this morning, which is, of course, the emergence of new service chiefs, 26th January. Gentlemen of the press. So, President Muhammadu Buhari shook up the entire security architecture in the country in January as well. He named Leo Irabo as the Chief of Defense Staff. Ibrahim Atohiru became the commander, the Chief of Army Staff. Then Awaz Zubairu was the Chief of Naval Staff, and Isiaka Oladayo Amo became the Chief of Air Staff. And that got a lot of people talking as well. I'm going to start with Chukudi on this one. Chukudi, when you heard this news, and of course you are a broadcaster, you got response from people, and people shared their views as to how some parts have been alienated again in the security architecture. What's your thought on that?
So I think it's important to point out that, the president would use his discretion to select those who are going to occupy such positions. And he would only do that from the pool where he can make that choice.
Right.
So the president will not go to Nsukka and bring my father and put him as the, for example, Chief of Army Staff. Mm-hmm. He's only going to select from a pool of personnel that are currently in service. Now, for years, people have advocated that it is important to see a diversity in his selection. So it doesn't appear like, you have preference for people from a particular part of Nigeria. And some people have argued that, looking at the situation, if you want to douse tension and give that people the confidence that you indeed represent our interest, we must see that participation and inclusion. Truth is, for me, I have no business with wherever the
you don't care.
I don't care when the president. I just want results for me. So long as it follows the process of selecting.
Right.
Because when there are problems, there's no selection of you are from the south, you are from the east. If, for example, we have a crisis situation and you have ungun men, come around and begin to, shoot sporadically into the air, people will die, and it's not who you voted for or what part of Nigeria you're from. But unfortunately, we have seen people who, in the long run, when you look at the results, you don't get to see anything. So whether they are from a particular part of Nigeria or they are from a part that people say he favors, it still doesn't change anything. People die in their numbers, and for me it's not just about changing the personnel. It's also about adopting a different plan and a strategy, and understanding that it is not just going all out and using weaponry. We must also have a plan that allows for reintegration. Some people were born into IDP camps that have become their permanent residence, and in crisis situation there is no landlord, there is nothing. So as Nigerians, we need to understand that we must continually advocate for a Nigeria where you have people who are qualified to occupy such positions, and they do their job.
And we downplay where they are from.
If it is essentially about the person carrying out their responsibility.
Right.
Well, a lot of Nigerians would not agree with you, and I would not either. So that's the ideal situation, but we are not in an ideal situation. The country is already tense. So already, we can't preach don't die to someone who's dead already. You can't tell Nigerians not to think about where someone is from. They're already thinking that way. So it's important for the president to be sensitive to the feelings of the people and the clamor of the people. But I think the problem essentially should be from recruitment into the military and into other security agencies. So do you have a fair representation of people from all geopolitical zones? Do they grow together through the ranks? Like you said, the president will pick from what's available. So I don't know if what he did was a selection from the pool available to or him. if he did some reshuffling.
Yeah.
But if they all get in together, if they grow through the ranks together and they're all available to be selected, then we can now start talking about selection. But I'll say that essentially is more important to whoever is a service chief or whoever is in charge of security. Let them be responsible for their actions wherever they're from.
Right.
If you have a general that's not functioning, if he has to leave the place, he should just leave there and go home. He should tell us what they did with the funds allocated. How were those money spent? We've got soldiers that called and said they didn't have weapons to fight. We had soldiers running away from battle because they were ill-equipped. So we need people to answer to those questions. As much as we're talking about where they're from, let's also talk about their responsibilities and answering questions when they're gone.
Sandra, let me come to you. What's your position on this quickly? No, I think Sandra is okay. All right.
So I will say that even more important than where they're from and what their pedigree is also whether it has made any changes. At the time when we had this conversation, a lot of people, myself included, continue to ask, will changing the service chiefs be enough? Because again, we've been talking right now if number one, these are the best possible replacements. Now, how much of the challenges in the counterinsurgency is due simply to personnel at the top, and how much is due to fundamental deficiencies in the armed forces? These men who were chosen, will they be able to fix those deficiencies? Have they been able to fix those deficiencies? It's like in football. Is the club struggling only because the coach is not getting things right? Or are there also problems with the players, with the physiotherapy team, with the club
Emmanuel seems to think that you are using his lines there. He was going to use that line. Why did you do that to him?
And then Wenger, and then look you.
Please go on, Sandra.
So and if you pay attention to the reactions that came in at the time when that thing happened, the Northern Elders Forum was saying, changing top brass is not enough. They were like, president must also change his leadership style, So there's still a lot of dissatisfaction. We changed change the service chiefs. At the time when people will call my show all the time and say, change the service chiefs, I used to ask at that time as well, is that enough? Will that be enough? Well, banditry's gone through the roof. Kidnapping's gone through the roof. Police brutality is still a thing. Boko Haram is still running wild. More and more villages are being sacked. So it does look like changing the service chiefs hasn't done the magic trick that people expected it to.
All right. Hold on, Ufoma. I need to introduce Ada Blessing, who is the lady on the overnight here on Nigeria Info. Ada Blessing, how are you? She joins us virtually.
Hi. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, Ada. Ada, please go on. Would like to say a word or two on the service chiefs?
Yeah, Chukudi actually said it's not that much of a big deal. It is to me, because I fault it. I mean, why is it that the selection is always coming from the north? Is it that the northerners are efficient enough to curb the insecurity we are facing? And also, Wemimo made a great point. Okay, let's say, of course, there are our ogas at the top. I really want to be careful right here. But let's say you are, reshuffling your cabinet members. It's okay. But the problem we Nigerians have right now is that these people, are they actually doing their work? That's the result we're looking for. And also, we are seeking to know where our funds are going to. It's not just about coming out with new members daily or yearly, and then we are not seeing results. We're still getting the same result every year. It's really, really heartbreaking. And sometimes I wonder, are we really paying for insecurity? If you know what I mean. Because that's what they say we're paying for. And to be honest, that's exactly what we're saying. They come out and say, let's pay for insecurity. Yet we are not secure. What we are getting is the main insecurity. And it calls for concern. I think it's high time they actually pick efficient people, maybe around all the 36 states, and not just sent out to the north.
The zones.
That's my take.
I hear you, Ada. Ada, thank you. I'm going to quickly come to Ufama, then Emmanuel will joining, and then we'll come to Ireti before we go. Ufama, quickly.
So I think I need to sort of clear this, I would say, misconception that service chiefs are mainly gotten from one section of the country as opposed to the other. I think it's not a very correct notion.
I agree.
Between 2010 and 2015, when we had the former president Goodluck Jonathan, all his chief of army staff were from the southern part of the country. I'm not sure I heard too many complaints
and noise and
noise from many of us down south. Maybe there were complaints in the north, I can't say for sure, but I'm not sure I heard too many complaints when Ihe Jirika was chief of army staff, one of the first southeasterner to assume that position since the Civil War, and when he also replaced him with Kenneth Minima from Rivers State. Remember, at that time there were a couple of senior officers, who were ahead of Kenneth Minima, and the president chose to, go beyond them and pick, some would say, his brother from Rivers State. Now, the reason I had to bring this up, if you even go back at least from 1999 when we had our democracy, we've had a mixture, mostly of either middle belts or southerners. Okay. There's been Ogomudia, there's been Owe Azazi, I'm just sticking to the chief of army staff now. Right. I really don't have a full picture of all the other service chiefs. But that being said, I can also understand the cries from a lot of persons, because the presidency, at least since 2015, has shown in their words, in their actions, some bit of disdain, so to speak, for a section of the country or for some sections of the country. So when people accuse the presidency of nepotism, there's been, evidence to back it up. But I think the general cry goes back to the restructure issue. You've heard a lot of politicians say what exactly is restructuring and all of that. I'm not going to get into that conversation. But if we have things done properly, if things are working well, if we don't have the center having all of the power, I'm not sure anybody will be complaining who is chief of army staff or who's no chief of army staff. The reason a lot of people complain is that with the way Nigeria is set up, once you get into that position, it's for you, your family members, your village people. You find a way to help recruit one or two persons into the army. For example, if you're chief of army staff, your relatives can bring a letter you will sign and give to the CBN governor or to someone in a political position to be able to employ you. That's the singular reason a lot of persons are complaining, that, this person is not from my place, because of those little benefits they get. But we need to get to the point where things are done particularly well, such that nobody will be bothered whether Hejirika is from Imo State or whether Atairu is from Borno State and all of that. Because truly, if you look through the structure, we're talking about southeast, south, southwest. some will tell you, oh, well, I think the Northeast has actually not gotten a chief of army staff until the present, exactly. So those are some of the things we really need to look at critically.
Let me come to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, competence or region, which should come first when we talk security? Because it looks like we play the ethnic and regional cards more in our polity. Emmanuel, can you hear me? Emmanuel can't hear me. Emmanuel, can you hear me? Oh, Emmanuel can't hear me. Ireti, let me come to you then.
Okay.
The same question.
Yes, I can. He's here. I can. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go on, Emmanuel. Go on, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Sheriff?
Oh, no. Okay. So I think we can. Let's see if we can manage this. It's the village people.
Sheriff.
It's the village people. Yeah, we understand. Can you hear me now, Emmanuel?
I'm not to the... I can. Can
yes,
I go ahead?
Go on, please. What did I say?
No, don't even bother. Don't bother.
Ireti, let me come to you.
Emmanuel, who did you offend this weekend?
Village
That's my
people.
question. Right, so it's interesting, and I totally agree with Ufoma, by the way. Oh, is he back?
Go on, please.
Okay. I agree with Ufoma, by the way. And here's some stats that I'd like to read out. So since 1999, Chief of Army Staff, we've had in total 11, right? 4 have been from the South and 7 have been from the North. Right? Now, let's talk about, Ufoma said a lot of the things that I totally agree with. For me, it's not about where you come from. And it should never be about where you come from. But here, ignore that because that horse has already bolted, right?
Yeah.
It's gone and it's going to be very hard to bring it back. However, what we do need to do is to come back to our intelligence, to come back to the fact that we as a nation, as educated people, need to rise and pivot above that, right? So, which then brings me on to our president. We have a big issue of trust. Trust is the bedrock of everything that we are experiencing, especially when it comes to the COAS issue, where we don't trust our...
Ireti, please.
Go ahead.
I am so sorry.
Break.
Please.
Go ahead.
We need to take a quick break.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just took some time.
After the break...
Get money for account. You won't take small thing inside. Just do cardless withdrawal with any Momo agent. Oga, madam, where is your card?
Now you fit withdraw money even if you not hold your card for any Momo agents where they near you. Just dial *223# to take touchlight the Momo agent where they near your domot. Momo agent. Safe, fast, no wahala.
This is what we live for. To connect with history in the making. To stream every breathtaking moment. To witness Mbappe, Kane, and all the football greats. To be part of the journey to glory. This is where we live the good and the bad. And unashamedly give our all to the beautiful game. Live the experience. Watch all the Euro 2020 action live from Supersport on Showmax Pro. Sign up at showmax.com.
Let's talk about the life you desire. A fantastic job, great education for your kids, exotic vacations, and finally, retiring well, knowing that you've secured your family's financial needs. It's beautiful when you think of it, right? But without the right plan, all these dreams could just be wishful thinking. My Here's Plan from Here's Life combines savings and life insurance to secure your child's future. We pay an agreed amount up to 5 million naira or more to your child or beneficiary if the unforeseen happens to you, their provider. This way, your dream for your child continues as planned. Visit www.here'slifeassurance.com to get started. Here's Life. Tell us your dreams.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000. Hi!
I beg, where on they see this money?
Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus we dey sama me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, what's up for me now?
You know say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hey Lagosians, some thrilling news for you here. Do you know that Air Peace, Nigeria's premier airline, is launching flight operations into Ilorin on Thursday, June the 17th, 2021? Yes, that's right. Now this means you can fly daily to Ilorin from Lagos and Abuja while experiencing our signature hospitality offered by a well-trained crew. Fly with Air Peace to Ilorin and enjoy peaceful skies as you take advantage of our affordable fares. For bookings, head to our website on www.flyairpeace.com or download the Air Peace mobile app on Play Store or App Store. Go on, start booking and share the great news. Air Peace, your peace, our goal.
If something plenty, how do you say it on the street?
Well, kilo bade is plenty niye.
What if I add more to it?
Okpo niye ke.
Let's say I add more and more.
Oh, bonpe. Okpo.
So let's say it's now pour like a river anko.
My sister, Tawana, Berekete.
If I add more anko, waiting past brekete.
Boss, show you the one mean. Nothing past global rekete now.
Yes, sir. Nothing past Globe Bracket. We go give you 600 naira free airtime as you activate the new Glow SIM. Up to 100% bonus for every data plan when you buy. Plus including 700% bonus on every recharge for new Glow customer them. Or the one where they glow before. Just go activate your new Glow SIM. Recharge or buy data. Make you begin to enjoy Bracket. Hey, carry waka go any Glow authorized dealer to buy your new Glow SIM today.
Unlimited.
The station with the information you need.
Those who constructed Ababa Port knew ability that trucks coming to load must have to park there and wait for their turn to load. That was why the spaces were provided. Now you came and sold those spaces and congestion everywhere. Then truck who want to load now will not park along the road. It doesn't work.
We don't micromanage this committee from Abuja. No, it's a local affair. These are people who know the people within the state and who know who those who actually did these jobs within the state.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Magu happen at the center
center where you were vaccinated.
It is said that a problem shared is half solved. When you admit first that there is a problem and then you share the problem, the understanding is perhaps you're reaching out to people who have an idea of how you would go about resolving the situation.
Tune in to the Morning Crossfire, the Daily Digest. What's up, Lagos? The Sunny Side, Hard Facts, Live and Dangerous with Daddy Freeze, the Chat Station, and in the world of sports, Femi and the gang has got you covered. Also, catch our exciting shows every weekend. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is The Voice Note on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
You know, it echoed in this room. Look, Aliko and I go back a long way. He's done phenomenally well. About 2 decades done phenomenally well. Jim, Mike Adenuga and co. Let me tell you what they all have in common. They are all very combative personalities. Because of that, no regulator will go to them and try nonsense. Because most of them know how to deal with that regulator. We have to move beyond that, making Nigeria an economy only for the few people who are very combative. Some of us too are combative enough, so people know what's in regulation. Now let me continue, because those we are destroying are the 22-year-old entrepreneurs, the 25-year-old entrepreneurs. This economy is rigged against the youth, and it's not going to grow. When Aliko and I were 30, we were allowed to grow. Today, we're killing the youth from growing. So it's not going to grow. That's the point I'm making. And the reason, the things we have to correct, you see, any regulator that wants to get applause, just go after some people, destroy some businesses, and the more you destroy, the more they hail you. It's even proof that you're working. That's the paradigm shift. We have to get out of that complete nonsense. Without that, it will negate any monetary policy and everything else.
This is a Nigeria Info special broadcast.
.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to the Roundtable. If you are just joining us, it's a pleasure to know that you are there. The house is full. If you're watching on Facebook, you're welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome as well. We'll be coming to those platforms to take your thoughts in a moment. Before that break, we were on the service chiefs, and Ariti Bakari Yusuf was saying, was giving her own contribution to that conversation of service chiefs that we were talking about. Iriti, again, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Now, Iriti, let me come back to you now. And by the way, I need to announce that we now have the Tekers joining us right now. Collins Teke and Andrea Teke are now with us this morning. How do I say, Collins, good morning to you. Andrea,
I thought you were going to stick to the ladies first arrangement.
Yeah. Okay, the lady first.
Good morning, Sherry.
Andrea, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
We're great.
We're enjoying the conversation, though, the submissions.
We also have Daddy Freeze joining us virtually right now. Daddy Freeze, thank you for joining us virtually.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't believe I'm with such lovely, wonderful journalists that I hold in such high esteem. People I look up to. I think Collins. Yeah. I can see.
I've somehow looked forward to him coming on.
Why?
Is that you, Sandra?
No, that's Wemimo.
Wemimo. Hey, my lovely sister Wemimo. Sheriff, awesome job.
Thank you, Chris. Now, let me come back to you. If we'll be announcing as we have people join us as we go along. The studio is filled up, so at one point or the other, we'll have some people will leave, then some new people will come in. So we'll be going in and out of introductions like that. So Ireti, let's continue with the service chief's conversation.
Yes, first of all, I must say hello to my Yale because
I can't believe it.
Must acknowledge the Yale and my Yale Andrea. Welcome, my darling.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, listen, before we went on break, I was talking about trust.
Yeah.
Trust factor is the biggest issue that we have here. And where the people do not trust the leader, in this case, people do not trust the president. Therefore, everything he does, even if it comes from a good place, even if it's followed the process, even if it's valid, even if they've ticked all the boxes, we don't trust him. So, therefore, he's the one that's actually got to sit down and think to himself, okay, there's clearly a trust issue here. People think I'm constantly promoting people from my region. Why is it? And to do that, you have to come from a place of honesty and sincerity. And he and his people, his advisors and his cabinet, they clearly either don't care or they can't be bothered to do that. So here's the thing about that service chief. As I read, I read out the facts before. However, when you look at security, you've got to look at it from a point of national and state, right? So in the case of national securities, where we're talking about the service chiefs, and in this case, we're talking about the chief of staff.
Right.
Well, the chief of army staff is not the greatest, is not actually the most senior person
No, it's not.
in the army. So why is it that we are so concerned with? And I'll tell you why.
Why?
Is because, again, we have this hypocrisy, and I'm going to call it what it is. It's an hypocrisy. You have an hypocrisy going on with regards to how, in our previous topic, we said Sunday Igboho, and we have to juxtapose him with Nnamdi Kanu, right? So Kanu, IPOB is a proscribed group, right?
Yeah.
You have Igboho, who can just open his mouth and say whatever he wants, and he's yet to be arrested, or maybe he was questioned by DSS, but he's not been proscribed, and neither as the northern group that I mentioned earlier. So, but the fact is, a lot of death is happening in the East. Who's speaking up for them? So if I were the government, if I was the president, you had an opportunity where you had Ibrahim Atahiru die. You think to yourself, okay, at this moment where this man has died, unfortunately, and we still don't know how he died. Really, we need investigation. We never get any reports back. They just tell us he'll be investigated. Then we put that aside. You ask yourself, okay, this man has died. And this is an opportunity for me to actually quieten the noise.
Right.
So you dig in and you go, and you should. And he should have taken somebody from the southeast.
Right.
He absolutely should have. The fact that he failed to do that tells me he's not deaf, he's just stubborn. He's stubborn. But yes, because if you were
if
listening
not for
to the people,
anything, he should have at least, gone through that route because to appease.
we, the people, we, the citizens, somebody just resigned in the UK. Right? Most people didn't like him. Most people didn't agree with him. But the fact is, he had to resign because he broke his own rule. And his boss didn't want to sack him. It was the people's demand that made him resign. And so this is the point where the people's noise should matter. Because we don't just make noise for the sake of it. We're making noise because we voted you in there and we want you to listen to us and do things for us. He failed in that opportunity. And so you can't blame the people of the South for continuing to think that there's a impartiality going on here.
That. And let me also quickly go to Freeze on this one. Before Freeze comes in to talk about the service chiefs, Aogo Obo is joining us, head of current affairs, joins us right now. Aogo, a very lovely morning to you. Thank you for joining us. You don't have to reply. Let me quickly go to Freeze. What's your thought about the service chiefs that the president... they said it shook up the entire military the security architecture back in January. Then, what's your thoughts on it? Are you subscribed? Are you also sharing the opinion that the president should have, as a sign of goodwill, good gesture, should have extended the position of one of the service chiefs to the southeastern part of the country, or we should put competence first before any other thing?
I don't see how competence is a matter on the table and someone, the question is there no one in the entire Southeast that is competent enough to hold a position of office in this regard? It's a bit worrisome for me. I personally believe that, I don't know how to say it without getting into trouble, that we could have done better in the selection. You see, these are the agitations of people like Igboho.
Yeah.
And I don't see any extra effort the leadership is doing to try to, at least to a large degree, bring calm in that regard. People are feeling left out. many parts of the country don't have proper representation. So this is giving rise to people like Igboho, and this is also fueling their agitations. Oh yes, you see what we're talking about? Can you see they have this, we're not included. And the people are listening. People normally tend to listen to people like that.
Yeah. Indeed. Please, just for my colleagues that are here, I know that you guys are great timekeepers. I had to give time to a lot of people before in the first hour of the show, but now we're going to stick to 60 seconds, and I'm saying it publicly now on air so that we all can mark ourselves. Emmanuel, we couldn't hear you earlier concerning the service chiefs. Let me come to you now.
I hope you can hear me now, Sheriff.
Yes, we can.
We can.
All right, great. Since I've got the first 60 seconds, I always will go for efficiency. This is not sports, but it's something that has to do with everyone in the country, security.
Right.
Ireti mentioned trust. Interestingly, I think that's a two-edged sword. There's no guarantee that, I'm saying this loosely, Sheriff, forgive me, that the president of the country has got trust in service chiefs that are not from the part of the country where he's from. And in such a situation, there's no way you want to take a gamble on security issues of the country. So I think he's going with personnel and people that he believes, regardless of where they are from. So it's both efficiency, but I think there's this underlining tone of regional affinity he's got with the man he's put in charge of the respective forces.
Indeed.
Very quickly, the president did say on that interview with Arise, that the first time we heard him in 2 years or so, he did say that the reason he picked, that he chooses from those who are available. And the key thing that he said there is, look, when you pick a chief of army staff, it has to be somebody that's been in the trenches with the boys. So is he trying to say there's nobody from the southeast or southwest that's been in the trenches with the boys? I think he was wrong.
What's your position on
this? And it's not his trust that matters, it's our trust that matters.
Right. Go on now, we're listening to you. Oh, I think Awo cannot hear me. I'm going to come to the techers in the studio, where I know that it's not What's Up Lagos, so we're not going to shout What's Up Lagos. Let me start with Collins on the security situation, the service chiefs. Does it matter really where the service chiefs come from?
That has always been a challenge. It's been a question when you appoint people to take up responsibility, especially in government. And I think it has been occasioned by the what they call the federal character, that you must pick people from different regions. But as far as I'm concerned, if the president thinks that those he has appointed are those who would do the job for him, he's the man at the helm of affairs, I think we should go with that. And, if we have other worries about where those people come from, we can always, bring agitations forward in other ways. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, insecurity is still ongoing. People are, that issues. Even in Lagos, we don't get to talk about internal security when we talk about the military as if, but there's serious internal security issues that we need to deal with. I think those are bigger things that we should pay attention to. Wherever a person comes from, will he do the job or not?
Exactly.
But the president coming out to also mention, on the other hand, that the reason he appointed those people is because they have grown. I heard him say that they've grown from they've been there.
The ranks and everything.
It also puts the question that Ireti mentioned, and that question of, okay, are you saying that there are not people who have grown, through the ranks, from different regions of the country? But that's another argument. But if they are doing the job, why not? If not,
indeed. Andrea.
It's more like Collins just said, or he spat out what I wanted to say.
Really?
Yeah,
that's the problem when you're married. So connect with me more. Don't connect with him.
Okay.
They think alike, right?
I was going to say that. I mean, if he has come up to say these people are efficient, these people are the people I trust, these people are the people that I know can carry out the job, why do we have to question him? I know there's a place of mistrust, just like what you said. There's a place of mistrust. Okay, if you are saying that these people should be in it, you're trying to tell us that, okay, it is based on your trust and not based on the trust of the people this time. And at the end of the day, somewhat we should have a say as the people.
Right.
Are these people going to do our biddings? Are we sure that these people have what it takes to stand for us and fight for us? Right. So I think there's also that place of mistrust. And then also, I really don't think that it should be where a people is from. And I know that there's also going to be that, okay, our people, we should know our people know how we feel, what we're fighting for, what affects us, right? But if he has said these people it doesn't determine if they are from that place. It doesn't mean if they're from the southwest or the southeast. As long as they can deliver, let's give them a benefit of doubt. That could be our president's position.
Indeed. Andrea, thank you so much. What we're going to do now is let's take just 2 calls from the public, hear their thought on the service chiefs, after which we'll go straight into another non-state actor joining the conversation. This morning, that joined the conversation of national security, and that non-state actor is Sheikh Gumi. But let's take 2 calls right now. Just prepare your thoughts on that. I have Jesse Lopaye joining right now. Jesse Lopaye, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning. 60 seconds. Tell me.
Yeah.
What's in your mind?
My mind is about the chief of army staff, all those people. To me, I think it's nepotism. There's nothing nobody can tell me now that is not nepotism, because it is happening. If it continues to happen, it is bad. If someone can still be there to change it, yes, you can say the past people, they've been doing it like that. What is wrong with this present situation? Can't we change it? It keeps happening that they are coming from that side and they are not doing anything. They go to the east, to the west, and they are not doing the needful. They keep hunting for what they are not supposed to hunt for, trying to do as if the east are the troubles.
Yes, Lopaye, thank you for your time. I'm going to speak with Noye quickly now before we go on to the Sheikh Gumi conversation. Noye, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Sherry.
Morning to you.
Everybody, I'm so happy hearing your voice.
Hello to you too.
Wow, I'm happy. That's why I called.
That's why you called. Okay. Thank you, Noye, for calling. I appreciate it. I really do. Now, let's move on to the issue of Sheikh Gumi. This time, I'm going to start with our Obo, who joins us virtually as well this morning. Sheikh Gumi made quite an entry into the public discourse in terms of security situation when bandits started kidnapping en masse students in the northern parts of the country. He volunteered, he offered his services to negotiate the release of these students, some students rather, and a lot of people found it quite distasteful and suspicious as well. They are very, very suspicious of the activities of Sheikh Gumi. Some have even named him, they've given him some title or something. But what's your position on the involvement of non-state actors such as Sheikh Gumi in negotiating for release of abducted students or abductions, kidnappings generally in the northern part of the country? Oh, well, we can't hear you, unfortunately. I am so sorry. We can't hear you. I don't know if you're there, but we can't hear you. I'm really sorry about that. But I'm going to bring this conversation into the studio. I'm going to start with Chukudi, who is here. Chukudi, let me start with you before I go back to Skype. What's your thought as regards the involvement of Sheikh Gumi?
So I'll quickly tie this to, conversations that we have had about people looking at situations and wondering if it were to be another person from a particular part of Nigeria, we would not get a certain type of reaction. I felt some type of way when I saw photos of Sheikh Gumi and bandits. It was like a parent that went for PTA meeting and sat down with the teachers. And I saw videos, although not shared on regular media, of even police officers who accompanied him into the hideout.
No, he actually said it. He said it in his recent interview, I think this week or so. He said it that anytime he's going, he goes there with security agencies.
My problem exactly, because somebody would some superior would sanction the the
security agents to go with him.
Even in certain cases, politicians that represent the people of that constituency or the area accompanied him to. I mean, there was a video we saw yesterday of some politicians speaking to a popular or a notorious bandit who was explaining
I saw the video
how
as well.
He dealt with military personnel.
Yeah.
And saying that he doesn't involve himself in anything that is illegal.
It doesn't kill
innocent people. If he has killed innocent people, go and call those innocent people to
And
come and
ask them.
testify. So sometimes when you see such videos, you wonder the audacity and wonder if indeed it would appear like for certain people they get certain treatments and for other people you get a different kind of treatment and wonder if indeed it would appear like for certain people they get certain treatments. So this is what other people you get what I would say a different kind of treatment. This is what I would say.
That was pretty cool.
Yes. Voice of
Like
God.
echo.
I would want to see definite action
Yeah.
on the part of government. And if government controls the instrument of states and use this to the best interest of the people,
Right.
we shouldn't have such situations. I mean, this man has been granted TV interviews, radio interviews. He's like the sensation now.
Thank you,
Even
Chikuri.
Wizkid not do interview. Reach this man.
Thank you, Chikuri. Let me come to you, Oimo.
Okay, so let me, when we started, I said I was thinking about non-state actors in terms of political systems. And when you talk state actors, they think about countries and thinking about their own, what they can get in every relationship with other countries. It's the same thing with non-state actors. So while they appear to be speaking on behalf of a group of people, essentially there's something in it for them.
Absolutely.
You might not find it initially. The Sunday Bohos, the Gumi, the Biafran, the Kanu, there is something in it for them. They're either getting monetary value, they're getting popular, and with popularity comes opening of other doors.
Influence, exactly.
Behind every
Influence.
leader is a personal
There
ambition.
is an ambition. And unfortunately, because of that trust that you've talked about, which is lacking, people don't think too deeply about, okay, is this guy playing us to get something for what he's doing? Is this just a campaign to get something in return? Sheikh Gumi, has really become popular. Now that he begins to say the government should grant bandits the power to man our forests, to protect our forests, that we now have bandits speaking so glaringly, even on media, without even covering their faces and telling you nobody can arrest me. So again, like Chukwudi has said, if we're further breaking down this trust. If people see you, clamp down on a certain group of people,
Right.
the other side you pat them on the head, then people can't trust you.
Indeed. Ireti?
Right, so I totally agree with Wemimo and my dear brother here, Chuk. So here's the thing. This is not even about non-state actors. This is about the fact that we have somebody who should be a regular member of the citizenry acting as a go-between between kidnappers who are breaking the law. Criminals. They are lawbreakers. Can we please stop, sort of branding this man as some sort of, Robin Hood of Nigeria? He's not. He neither speaks for me, you, or the children who have been kidnapped, or their parents. Every time I see Gumi interviewed, I find it totally abhorrent. I find it as a total insult to every single parent whose child has been kidnapped. Whenever I hear him speaking, because he often speaks for the kidnappers.
Absolutely.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
Now, who is speaking for the victims? So that's my problem with him. And we must look at his background as well, because again, behind we're going something, I'm getting
It's
hands.
just 5 seconds. 3,
Right.
2. That's all. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wow.
I'll come back to it.
Yes, we'll come back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can hear you. 60 seconds. Let's hear you.
This is on which of the issues now, because I've just been giggling on all of it.
We're on Gumi situation right now. You know what? You know what, Algo? You know what we're gonna do? Just hold your thoughts. Let me take some thoughts from Facebook and on YouTube, and then we'll go to break because we have thoughts that are coming on those two platforms. So we're just gonna take them. We have comments that have been posted already. If you're following us on Facebook, please go there and drop your comment. But for YouTube, we have this person that says that he won't be surprised if Sheikh Gumi is a point man for some politicians. That's Gold who said that on YouTube where we're streaming live as well. Gold, thank you for your thought, appreciated. Olukayode Oyekunle says that you guys are hitting the nail on the head and he's applauding you for that. Let's go to break, Lagos. We'll be right back. Stay here.
New funny video for Twitter. That one with the boy. You mean this one? What of that brother Shaggy News Kitty? Where they circulate WhatsApp? Oh, this one. What of that meme? Where the guy? When mouth open like this, ba? Mr. No Ito. Which data you they use know all these things? Now, Glow new data plans get me. Are you serious? With just 50 naira, and they get 50 MB. And with just 100 naira, and they get 150 MB. We have to use chat or browse on top Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Don't dull yourself, oh. Dial *777# now. Make you begin the browse, they go.
Glow Unlimited.
You asked for it, and it's back.
It's a roundtable here, special broadcast on Nigeria Info. We've got the entire team here.
Oh my God, the year of first. That's what 2020 has been. It's the year of first.
You're doing empowerment for youth. You give them bikes, you give them marijuana, and then years after, you tell them not to use them.
I feel like there's a huge disconnect between the government.
It's the Nigeria Info Roundtable.
And the actual consequence of poverty in Nigeria.
These are debts that can be avoidable if we just do the right thing.
All your favorite Nigeria Info presenters on air at the same time.
And the third person was an entrepreneur.
We missed the second person.
They all
we missed the second
person. The first person, Sheriff, I can send it to you on WhatsApp.
All the biggest stories from the first half of 2021. Analyzed by the biggest voices on radio.
I am Sheriff Quadri, Lagos, Nigeria.
My name is Wemimo Adewinis.
You're hanging out with the Tech Steel.
My name's Joyce Onyemowa.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Date 28th of June, Monday. Time 9 a.m. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000.
I beg. Where on they see this money? Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus we they sama me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge. Oh boy, what's up for me? You know, say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that. Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network. In the information era, facts, events, and news are available at the click of a button. The information flow is enormous, which makes the financial markets unpredictable. As a trader, you need to have a strategy, and most importantly, you need a trustworthy partner that will simplify things for you. Hot Forex is serious about its responsibilities to you. With its origin dating back to 2010, we are a multi-regulated broker with over 2 million live accounts, wide global presence, more than 35 international awards, tight spreads, multiple assets, reliable fast execution, technological innovation, and multiple account types. The Hot Forex team is always ready to deliver trading services and free trading education that you can rely on every time. And this is not just a mission, it's a promise. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Centers at 3rd floor, Warala House, 90 Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, or call 0908-517-6394 or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
The place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting me cause I shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. You wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know.
People know how to make an impression, and that's why they trust Lush Hair Extensions. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Sweetie, you look so worried. Honey, I am so confused. Our landlord has given us just 1 week to pay the rent we are owing or pack out, and I have no cash on me. I tried selling my car, but buyers are not just turning up.
What? Sell your car? Why don't you just get a quick loan from Cash Drive Instant Loans?
Cash Drive Instant Loans? Yes, Cash Drive offers instant loans for car owners. With Cash Drive Instant Loans, you can get up to 20 million naira in 24 hours without a guarantor, using just your car as your collateral, and you can still drive it. Apply now on www.cashdrive.co. For more information, call us on 0122999954 or WhatsApp on 0802-857-2566 or 0817-555-6789. Cash Drive Instant Loans. We are on your side.
John, your temperature is so high. Why have you not gone to the hospital now? Hey.
I read on Facebook and WhatsApp that if I mix...
Mix what? Hey! So in this age and time, you are still taking health advice from Facebook and WhatsApp? Hey, don't joke with your life, oh. Never take health advice from people who cannot verify their identity on social media.
This message is brought to you by Africa Check.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk. This is a Nigeria Info special broadcast.
99.3 Nigeria Info. A very lovely morning to you. If you are just tuning in, welcome to the show. It's a round table.
A triangular, or what shape is this?
And this is spaceship.
We're aliens.
Spaceship. I love it. I love it.
Right. We have the full house here. We also have our colleagues joining virtually. You know, we have to maintain COVID protocol. Before the break, I think I was listening to Alho. Alho was trying to talk to us about his position on the involvement of Sheikh Gumi. Should we call it in conflict resolution or
peacemaker
or crime solving or something? I don't know what to call this.
Well, it's effectively as a go-between between the people, government, and
the bandits.
Criminals.
Right.
No, bandits, criminals.
Okay. Call them criminals.
Right. Criminals. It is. I'll go. Let's now have your point.
Oh, all right. Great to join the roundtable. I mean, it's a privilege. And I've been listening to all the back room conversation. I think I wish that was what was put on air. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Many of the things we're hearing on the sidelines of who Sheikh Gumi exactly is. It's a shadowy character, you know, sort of characters that find their ways into the limelight when they see the opportunity for them to make some gain out of it. So you see what happened during the Niger Delta insurgency that happened. You had people like Jomo Bomo, Men, and all of them. They came in to fill a puzzle. And the jigsaw puzzle, which is playing out the entire northern part of the country, has presented someone like Sheikh Gumi the opportunity to give some relevance to what he said, what he talks about. So believe it or not, he's won some fans for himself. But the generality of the country and to everyone who has been incensed by the kidnappings and abductions that happened is an absolute news. There. But it'd be interesting to see what we say about Sheikh Gumi in years to come. What sort of legacy is expecting?
Oh no! Oh,
network.
Oh no! I'm sorry, Algo. We lost your contribution towards the last few seconds, but that's okay. I think I could deduce what you're trying to say. Thank you for sharing your thought. I'm going to come straight now. Let's go to Daddy Freeze on what he thinks about the abduction. No, not the abduction. We're coming to the abduction much later on because we can't separate Sheikh Gumi's interventions in quotes now. I need to be very careful with my words because some people say he's not intervention, Joe. He's you know. But then, Freeze, what's your position on the activities of Sheikh Gumi in mediating for rescue or release, so to speak, for the kidnapped victims or kidnapped victims, if you like?
Personally, there's light and darkness, good and bad in every situation. if we were to employ the US model, for instance, where they don't negotiate with terrorists because bandits are terrorists, then what he's doing is going to be detrimental not just on the short term, also long run. However, in a situation where even our government is pleading with these kidnappers and trying to negotiate with them, we do need a front, we do need a medium through which these negotiations can be brokered.
Okay.
The problem is at what price?
Oh no. I'm so sorry, Freeze. I think
It's
the
freezing.
connection is
it's freezing.
It's very weird.
Can you guys hear me now?
It's still not clear. The way it's breaking. It's not clear at all. It's not clear at all. Okay. think
I wished you were in the
Freeze-
studio, honestly. Would have so much fun.
Yeah, I think Freeze will try and rejoin us this morning. But before we go into that, gentlemen, let's quickly move on because of time, because we need to link this with the... Okay, I think Freeze is back. Freeze, are you with us now? Oh, and I can see you on my screen here. Okay, Freeze is not back yet. We need to link this with the incessant kidnapping, mass abductions of students in the northern parts of the country. It's been recurring, and it's almost like the government is helpless. It's almost like the government doesn't know what it is. Almost like there is no solution in sight. And we know, by extension, what this means for education in the northern parts of the country, where you don't get to see a lot of children go to school. I'm going to, bring this to Sandra, if Sandra is still with us this morning. Sandra, what is your position on the mass abduction that we've witnessed this year alone? For those who have put the numbers together, I think it's about over 500 abductions, students that have been abducted this year alone. And when these things happen, it's always lead to closure of schools. It's always lead to children not going to school anymore. I'm coming to you, Sandra. What's your position on this? Oh, I'm not sure Sandra is here with us as well. Oh wow, we have a lot of people here, by the way. But Freeze, are you back with us, Freeze? I can't hear you. I honestly cannot hear you. Then we'll have to come back to the studio then. Ireti, let me come to you. Mass abduction of students and the impact on education.
Oh gosh, and you're only going to give me 60 seconds?
I'm sorry.
Are you for real?
I'm sorry.
This is just too big. So the abduction of students, of children, of any human is abhorrent. I've got to say that the fact that we're still playing silly beggars with it really is quite shocking, right? And it's really disconcerting. I think the fact that government are still playing lip service and not, again, here we go, government needs to act. The Constitution says you, Mr. President, are responsible for the safety of the people.
Right.
So why are you not ensuring that our children are safe? So let's talk about education. Actually, before I go there very quickly, if I had a child in any of those schools, and I still say till today, irrespective, every single child in Nigeria is my child, right? Every single student in Nigeria is our student. And I think it's getting to a point where mothers and parents need to say, you know what, my child is no longer going to school until you make every school in the land safe. But going back to education, now, this is particularly affecting an area in Nigeria where we already don't have enough people in education.
Already.
Exactly. Thank you. That's the word, deficit. However, incidentally, that area of Nigeria is where you also have the highest number of primary schools and stuff. So you know that these people are taking advantage of that. Now, if we continue like this, in a nation where we still have a deficit, and I'm talking as a nation, where we have a deficit of education, where we have an issue with quality of education, where we already have a mistrust in the educational system, where good teachers are so they're so lacking. we're only making matters worse. So what we've continued to do is we've got this basket of problems, and we keep throwing more and more and more and more in it. And one of these days, it's going to implode. We are getting to the point of implosion.
Right.
And if you kill education, no, there's not going to be anyone around to fix that implosion.
Thank you, Ireti. Let me come to you, Wemimo. Your thoughts on this? Mass abduction, students, especially in the northern part of the country.
My biggest fear is the trauma that these children go through. The ones that have been abducted and the ones that witnessed the abductions. So maybe they were not abducted, but how do the other students feel? Are they able to concentrate in school? Do they want to go back to school? Do parents want their children back in school? Even if your child was not abducted, but there's been an abduction in your local government, are you able to bathe? I've got 3. Are you able to bathe your son or your daughter and send them to school and go back to work? What kind of situation are they all in? So while we're thinking about possibly having a sit out and say we're not going to school until you fix this, remember that WAEC is not waiting. Those exams are still going on year round.
Absolutely.
Right? Everything is not going to stop. It's not going to wait for us. All over the world, students are learning. And these children, their ages are also not going on pause. They're growing older. So you're possibly going to have children who are 15 who have not finished primary school because education in their state had to be stopped. In some states now, they've shut schools. They've shut a number of schools. What's going to happen to them? Is there have we created facilities for online lectures? If you're saying they should have online lectures, do they have internet? Do they have phones? Do they have electricity to access it? What exactly is the plan? So it's a multi-layered problem that needs a multi-layered approach to resolve it. So right now, I can't say send the children to school, but we must begin to think of alternatives. We've got apps. And I've said this quite a number of times. Let government begin to work with NGOs, tech companies. A lot of them are willing to partner with government.
I was going to mention, sorry for cutting, I was going to mention that we have, there are a few NGOs who have taken it upon themselves to provide these schools or some of these parents or their children with some facilities that could help them, with this education and all of that. I was also going to say, education is the bedrock of development.
Absolutely.
So when you find a state or a city or a country where there's an attack on education, what does that say? It shows that development will be far away from that country or that state.
Alho, let me come to you quickly. What's your position? Yes, go on. Go on, Alho.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Oh, brilliant. So this is a case of the chicken coming home to roost. When the Chibok abductions happened, they had what they call the Safe School Initiative. And they put out about $30 million. How many billion naira that was supposed to benefit at least 500 schools, and then 30 schools were chosen for the pilot phase. Till today, none of those schools have had the intervention that money was meant to do. And we ask the questions, why? Why will the governor of Niger State stand before a flurry of cameras and say more than 40% of my state is ungoverned? So you have schools in ungoverned areas using the same methods that haven't worked all these years that allowed Chibok to happen, and all the abductions that had led to about over 1,000. Sherry, we talked about 500 in 1 year. More than half of the abductions for the children have happened within 1 year. So you can imagine you have all of that in play, and then we expect different results. It's not going to happen until we go back to, money was spent in arriving at the Safe School Initiative program, but we haven't even tested it at all. And you have the governors now asking questions. So in terms of multi approach in resolving, they get to go back to the Safe School Initiative. The governors have to take control of their ungoverned spaces, not put children in harm's way, but placing those schools in those spaces.
If I may, Sheriff, I served in the north. So when you're talking on governed spaces, these are large expanses of land,
and you don't get to see anything.
Nothing.
It's just there.
Nothing. So how does a governor take advantage of that? This is why I said it's multi-layered. You begin to think about housing and infrastructure. You're thinking transport. It's complex.
But
you need houses in these places.
Do we tell these governors to give us a breakdown whenever they want to receive their security votes? Because this argument of yes now.
But that's what it should be.
This argument of we have large expanse of land and yet we cannot, but they are representatives. And during elections we see people go back home to campaign and we see ballot boxes. This is what I think. I think people are not angry because we don't see this as a problem. We have developed a coping mechanism. As we speak, over 150 children are still in the hands of criminals. As we speak, close to 3 weeks. And not one word has been mentioned about this incident by the federal government. Over 150 children between the ages of 6 and 16, or 18. Not a single mention of it by the government of the day at the center. So we need to look at the situation and wonder why in 6 months we have had Kankara,
Niger State,
Afaka, Greenfield, Tegina, Jengbe. It's like it's back to back. These guys just sit back, plan, go all out, get their money. Idris Sani Jalingo, the guy that masterminded the kidnap of the Greenfield students, somebody called him. He had a radio interview where he said, if you don't give me 100 million naira and 10 machine.
He collected the machine.
Yes, he collected.
The parents had to find the
parents said they gave him 180 million naira and the machine.
10 machines.
Money from where? Machine for where?
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle. So that was what he said when he called the radio. So he said 10 machine. If they don't give him 10 machine, they will come and pick the dead bodies of these children. And he was granted the interview. Superstar kidnapper, superstar criminal.
Wait. Did he come in live?
No, he was telephone now.
So we have his phone number, and security officials cannot get him.
My word on this matter quickly, Sheriff, is that I remember when Chibok happened. We have to go back to that. The whole world would, everywhere campaign against this.
It was so new to us.
I am wondering right now. Is it that we're very used to, like Chukudi said? Why? I mean, just look at the number. You mentioned the number of people having kidnapped and children, in the past 6 months. And I think it's to be a time where we should call more civil society groups. And I think all the direction has been the government. The government maybe would need some push from not just citizens and those who are not civil society groups to get them to do these questions we're asking right now. We're just wondering. Nobody's answering these questions. At the same time, these things have continued. So what exactly are the civil society groups doing concerning this?
If I can come in there, Sheriff, very quickly. Right?
Yes,
civil society groups are putting pressure on the government, but unfortunately you can't make a stubborn donkey do what you need it to do. That's the thing. And you're totally right. I mean, we were all shocked when Chibok happened. It was new to us. We thought, oh my God, it shook the whole world.
Absolutely,
and it's not like people hadn't been kidnapped in other parts of the world, but the fact that almost 300 girls could be taken was something that was it was just new to us. And this is the problem. When we begin to normalize criminality, which is what we are doing when we call them bandits. When we normalize criminality, when we have non-state actors like Gumi saying they're speaking or they're the go-between. Okay, we normalize criminality when government themselves continue to play lip service. But, and I will come back to this, the opportunity to actually eradicate kidnappings and such types of criminality from our society was lost at the time of the Chibok girls. And it was GJ who lost us that. Because had he reacted
quickly,
immediately, within the first 20, anywhere in the world, they will tell you the first 24 hours of anything going missing is what matters the most.
He didn't believe it.
Let alone a human being, exactly. So I responded very quickly. Then, and when I say responded with serious arms and very,
go after them.
Very, very strict measures. This would not have continued.
Indeed.
But now we have people who need to raise money for 2023. And our lives are the ransom.
Okay. Now let me go to our colleagues virtually. I'm going to start with Freeze and we'll come to Emmanuel. Freeze, you have been following the conversation, the kidnappings of school children in the northern part of the country. And I'm thinking of the consequences. My head is blowing away because these are the things that we see today. But the far-reaching consequences, if you try to extrapolate, I'm sure that the end will not be near. Maybe in 20, 30 years, we're still living with the consequences of what is going on right now. But let me come to you. What are your thoughts on this?
Starting with my comment on the Shea Gumi issue, what I was trying to say initially before I got cut off is there's dark and light, good and evil in every situation. However, we have to measure it on a scale and see which outweighs the other. The American formula claims they don't negotiate with terrorists. If we were to adopt that formula with the way our government has been behaving in regards to the security of lives and property, I'll be a bit worried. So we can't just say, okay, we won't negotiate. All right, so if we are to negotiate, who is or what is the medium through which these negotiations are being facilitated? Is this sheikh trustworthy? What are his near and far reaching plans? What are the advantages for us as a country and the disadvantages on the short term and the long run? And one thing that keeps coming to mind is kidnapping and banditry is fast becoming an industry in Nigeria.
It is now an industry.
And we are fueling it. And we seem to be fueling it. So this is a tough choice. We're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea. And in all honesty, I don't know which is better. But I can assure you that developing these two quote and unquote industries by fueling them is not going to benefit us on the long run.
Thank you, Freeze. Thank you. Let's take a few thoughts from the listeners out there. We'll take those thoughts, then we'll come to Emmanuel, because if I should allow Emmanuel to go now, I'm going to interrupt Emmanuel's speech in the middle of it. So let's take one or two calls. 0700 993 993 993. The WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805. And Kim says... Kim, thank you for your thought. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm going to take another one here that says, okay, so a lot of messages that I have here are just, praising everybody for being here, really. But this person says, the mass abduction in the north, assuming a crescendo in an orchestrated attack on education and by extension on development by retrogressive elements domiciled in a particular part of the country. This brings to light the issue of voting. Okay, Sam Ken, I can't take some things that you put here, so I'm just going to stop here for now. I hope you forgive me. Let's see. Someone says Ireti Bakari is on point, and he says, Patrick rather, that he's enjoying the conversation this morning. Let's see who else is here. This person is his own. What concerns him is the exchange rate.
Can't blame the bloke. Very important.
Exactly.
And we have a lot of people that are trying to. I don't know why people think that they can market on our WhatsApp.
They're selling stuff.
There's just selling stuff.
And now
nobody is seeing it. We are the ones that we see. I don't know why they think they
my
can
customer might be on your side.
Probably broadcast.
You should have approached us to talk about how you can sell your stuff during Roundtable. But that said, there will be another opportunity come December, because we only have this twice in a year. Let's go to break. Lagos, Nigeria. When we return from this break, we have the news for you, after which would step it up a little bit. Stay here with us. Don't go away.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. 8 times 500 naira. 4,000 naira.
8 times 5,000. I beg. Where on they see this money? Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus we get is sama me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, what's up for me now?
You know, say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Mommy Shade, this child looks sickly. Try and take her to the hospital. I wish I could, but expenses are too much. Don't tell me you have not heard about LSHS Ilera Eko. Ilera Eko? What is that? Lagos Health is our wealth.
Ilera Eko. Oh yes, Lagos State Health Management Agency (LASHMA) has designed an affordable and quality healthcare scheme for Lagos residents. Ilera Eko, at your convenience, you can have access to antenatal, delivery, immunization, management of hypertension, diabetes and other illnesses, family planning and basic emergencies. Register with Ilera Eko branded agents and at the nearest Ilera Eko branded outlets. Pay 40,000 naira annual subscription for a family package or 8,500 naira for an individual package and start to experience peace of mind. For more information, call 0700 Ilera Eko or 0800 Ask Lashma or visit www.lashma.com. Ilera Eko, affordable and quality healthcare for Lagos residents.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000. Hi!
Abeg, where una dey see this money? Money care. Na the ogbonge bonus wey dey sama me as I buy new SIM card o. See dem dey give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, cut up for me now.
You know say you fit buy SIM card now for any accredited Airtel shop, ba? Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Sweetie, you look so worried.
Honey, I am so confused. Oga landlord has given us just 1 week to pay the rent we are owing or pack out, and I have no cash on me. I tried selling my car, but buyers are not just turning up.
What? Sell your car? Why don't you just get a quick loan from Cash Drive Instant Loans?
Cash Drive Instant Loans? Yes, Cash Drive offers instant loans for car owners. With Cash Drive Instant Loans, you can get up to 20 million naira in 24 hours without a guarantor, using just your car as a collateral, and you can still drive it. Apply now on www.cashdrive.co. For more information, call us on 0122999554 or WhatsApp on 0802-857-2566 or 0817-555-6789. Cash Drive Instant Loans. We are on your side.
Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what in now? That is money you just to call me.
See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I not finish. Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 Mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
Apollo, my guy.
Benjo, see, I go block you now. I go block you now. You go see him.
Terms and conditions day. 9 Mobile.
Catch me in my big boy car, feeling like Big Daddy. Everybody head gone when I pull up in the party. And see me under my ass flexi, so I'm never worried when anybody come and bash me. I pimp my house and it's fresh to death. No matter what happens, I'm still set to forget. And people come and ask me, should I get connected? Then I tell them of my tenants protect. Whoa, my business and not that, cause I got that sweet ass insurance. Trust me, it's a big boy lifestyle you live once you know that. As insurance got your back in any situation.
Visit www.hairsinsurance.com to get started. Hairs Insurance, your simple, smart protection.
This is what we live for. To connect with history in the making. To stream every breathtaking moment. To witness Mbappe, Kane, and all the football greats. To be part of the journey to glory. This is where we live the good and the bad. And unashamedly give our all to the beautiful game. Live the experience. Watch all the Euro 2020 action live from Supersport on Showmax Pro. Sign up at showmax.com.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info Special Broadcast.
With the Sheikh Gumi's issue, if indeed we really want to fight this security, there should be more of intelligence gathering, because it's like the man knows so much, and the way they are treating with a kiss glove is they are not getting the right information from him that they can work with. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you too for calling. Appreciate it. God bless you too. Nigeria Info, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning to you.
Komokomas,
Welcome.
I greet everybody. This is the best roundtable for me for Nigeria Info.
Thank you.
I support Ezugo, Ufoma, and Bakari. That's Madam Bakari here. I don't support Teke by talking about the service chief, that it does not matter where they come from. I want you people to help me ask government if they have given any IN to Boko Haram, herdsmen, and bandits before we register. Thank you.
Thank you too. Ebuka is joining us right now. Ebuka, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. It's very well, very fine. Honestly, I have to go back. You see, Nigeria as a country, if we are sincere to ourselves, like the issue of Pantami and NIN that we had the other time, we have so many data out there. How are we regulating it? I remember Sandra talking about the black web, all this thing is open out there.
Right.
If we can regulate and make sure that this thing are just gone to the bad hands, we can get the country running well. It seems as if the North, South, East, the three ethnic groups that we have, they are not coming together. Somebody said something that we have three nations, so many nations in a country, and we are not addressing this issue. So if there should be neutral level, table dialogue, the country will understand, put a constitution that works for ourselves. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ebuka. We're going to speak with Frank. After Frank, then we'll come and talk about inflation. Frank, hi. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
I greet everybody. Hello?
Go on, Frank. We're listening to you.
Yes. I want to talk about the security. I want to pick from some things that Ufoma said. Then he said that from 1999. Okay, well, Obasanjo was the one ruling then. How rough was the security security there as at then? How rough was the security as at then? When Goodluck Jonathan was there, he picked his own security service chiefs from his own angle also. How rough was the security? How rough was the security as at then? And now Buhari has entered now and choose his own service chiefs then now. Look at how it is. Everything became worse. If you know that he doesn't know this, why not go to the former people that have been there and ask them how they did it, or pick people from them? Because you have pilots then, you have other people, and they are doing, and they are not from your angle, because you go to people that knows about it then. Why not go and pick people so that we can have rest and have peace in this country?
Frank, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. Now, gentlemen, for those who are watching online, you're welcome. Nigeria Info 99.3 is where we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you're welcome to join the conversation there. Let us know what you think. Just drop your comment. Or you can send us WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp number is 0809 597 5805 on WhatsApp. We're going to go straight into the conversation around food prices and the rest of other things that have gone up. This year, 2021, I continue to have this conversation with almost everybody every day. I was somewhere yesterday and the person was complaining about, how skyrocketed prices of commodities, not just food alone. I mean, almost virtually everything, how the prices have gone up. So I'm going to start with Nata, who is yet to say anything all day today.
Yes, I've had a very busy morning, but it's good to be on the round table. But talking about food inflation, the truth is nobody's spared. It doesn't matter the strata of the society that you belong to. You're rich, you're poor, you're employed, you're unemployed. It's affecting everybody. The other day I was at the market and I was trying to buy plantain. And for a second, I had to second, do I really want to eat this plantain? Because, I mean, what is going on? Farmers are afraid to go to the farm because of the state of insecurity in the nation. Just like you said, everything is going up. The other day I had to change a couple of dollars. And, I mean, a naira to dollar right now is about $4.95 the last time I changed. So everything is going on. I mean, by the time you turn off the microphone, we're talking about the electricity, how expensive it is, and so much is going on in the country. Almost everybody's frustrated. The average, the minimum wage right now is about 30,000 naira. And when you go to the market, you price a bag of rice how long would it take the average man to work to afford a
put
bag
food
of
on the
rice,
table.
to afford chicken? I don't think people still eat chicken these days. Does anybody eat chicken in the studio?
People
But
still do.
But right now, things are
People still
so high that you begin to question yourself. And for me, we really need to look into this because the average man cannot afford a decent meal.
Andrea.
A cup of Gary has moved from 50 naira. I think now it is 200 naira. Yes, it used to be 50 naira.
Milk
Even
tin.
egg.
Milk
Egg.
tin, the small cup.
Yes.
200 naira.
Is 200 naira. And then, just like you said, you want to ask ourselves the question, what is going on? Where are we headed to? What is happening? You talked about light. You were saying that you spend 3,000 naira to, buy your electricity for a day.
Yes.
I and Collins, we're still talking about the fact that we spend 10,000 naira for a week.
For a week?
10,000
What you
naira
guys
for a
live?
week.
On power.
On power. And you want to ask us, okay, so
power that's not stable.
that is not stable.
Not all the time.
You are not guaranteed 24-hour light. We're not guaranteed that, but then we have to pay 10,000 naira for a week. We use it for a week, and then you want to ask, okay, so what do you use in your house? Is it the AC? Is it your washing machine? Is it your television? Why is the tariff high? It still goes back to, okay, you said insecurity. Of course, like you said, farmers, they're afraid to go back to the farm. We heard the Onions Association of the people who distribute onions. They are going on a strike, or they went on a strike at some point, saying that they are not going to distribute or supply onions to the rest. Most of these farmers are herding most of their products. And I want to ask, why are they herding it? Why are they herding the product? Why are they refusing to sell? And if they want to sell, why is it going high? Everything still goes back to the insecurity happening in the country at the time.
I think I want to take it up from there because that takes me back to one review. That when COVID happened, there were a lot of talk. There were a lot of speculations, not speculations, or projections. What the post-COVID era would be like, and a number of high analysts mentioned. Farid of CNN was one of them that said, "Look, what is going to happen is that in countries like Nigeria, you would have first of all there'll be hunger." Occasioned by the economic effect of COVID, and then there would be insecurity, and then that's exactly what we're experiencing. So you talking about insecurity, it might look like, okay, why insecurity in this mix? I think everything that we have experienced in the last couple of months or 6 months in this country have one way or the other been linked to the state of security in our nation. Because, of course, if you don't have food security, it would affect every other thing.
That's right.
Also, on this hike in price, I think I have to speak to my people out there. If you're listening to me from wherever you are, whether in the market or wherever it is, I think we have this Shylock mentality, the mindset of, once everyone agrees that things are expensive,
everybody,
whether or not your stock, what you have is old stock, they start putting prices on it.
Yes.
Unnecessary hike of price in the market, even beyond the inflation level of our nation, is something we have to address. That's not the government. That is us on our own. So, to even cushion the effect, let's be true to ourselves. Let's not, this mentality of can all you get and get all you can has to change. Because at the end of the day, you're affecting the next person who of course is in the same mess as you. I think our market women and the general, those who sell merchandise and sell things, especially food items in the market, should please be truthful. I know it's tough, but you be truthful. Don't just hike. How can you just move from 50 to 300? It doesn't happen anywhere.
Because you heard that things are now expensive.
Then you add your own price on it.
You've stocked up months ago. Let me cross over to Ada. Ada, someone told me that you're not affected by this inflation conversation.
Wow. No, I just wanted to talk to Collins. Aside the fact that we are naturally greedy, especially in this part of the world, where when something happens, the next thing everyone wants to inflate the price. Now, I heard that what people do is when everything is normal, most of these traders, they buy those things in bulk, store them, waiting for days like this, and now increase the price. And I wonder, yet we complain of the government when we are the same.
That's right.
Like this government, they are us. They did not come from America, Europe. No, they're Nigerians. So take an average Nigerian to that place, I think the same thing will still happen, because even the poor man is still being greedy. He's still waiting for days to, extort people. And I worry, and talking about me not being affected.
Everybody just looks for an opportunity to extort.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I won't call it extortion.
I am also affected. Oh, please, whoever said that, please
sorry.
bring me down. I am affected.
no vex. Alcohol, you're on this table too. They said you are not affected, though.
Who isn't?
I'm very much affected, though. In fact, the other day, the list that you get when you go and do the shopping, the list is a supplementary list. The real list is when you get to the market and things double the spur of the moment. But the point we make is also real. The real issues affecting the farmers. If you listen to our shows, you hear farmers calling during the show, say, for example, they haven't been able to access the farms because of insecurity. And if the farmer cannot access his farm because of insecurity, or the ones who can access have to hire security guards to protect the goods, it's a problem. And don't forget, before now, we already had post-harvest loss. Half of our harvest was going bad because of a number of reasons, from logistics to all manner of reasons. And then, chief of it all, people talk about why we're still doing rain-fed agriculture. We hear things, because rain hasn't started, that's why we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't have this. So we need to, there are places that don't have rain, but they have food all throughout the year. So what is the Ministry of Agriculture really doing in getting us to happen for us all throughout the year? But importantly, they will have to think beyond. I heard the Minister of Interior saying that they put civil defense to protect each. How many farmers can be protected with civil defense? Billions of farms we have in this country. So it's not sustainable. They need something sustainable to make sure people can go to the farms and farm without watching their back whether anyone is coming to hack them to death.
Right. One more quickly.
Okay. So I was checking my head. So every business person is capitalist, and you are in business to make gains. So I don't think I would hap at people who store products and then sell when there's demand. It's
I was about to say, it's a market strategy. You hoard when there's scarcity.
Let me tell you why they need to increase the price. So if you bought an item at 50 naira and you store it for 6 months, the value of 50 naira has reduced.
Yes.
So you need to make up your money and a little interest. I think it's cool. I think it's business. Okay. I remember that these business people also buy electricity that you buy, and they're going to buy from that's what they do. So
the percentage increase, my worry.
Yeah, the one that think is high. For them, it's not high, because the value they bought the market the product for years ago, the money has been devalued. It's not the same worth. You see, I don't know where you guys live. I think I'm a bit lucky. I don't spend that much on electricity.
I think I need to move to yours.
Yeah, I think you should. And I'm not going to mention where, so that they will not
text me your address.
Change the tariff.
So, but I see that there's a cycle, and like Collins has rightly said, there's everything is linked to insecurity. Political instability. Most of these milk. For those of us that have children, you need to buy milk. Some people are telling me on social media, we must look for alternatives. I said, okay, tell me the alternative. What is the alternative to milk? What's the alternative to eggs? 1 crate of egg is now 1,800 naira.
That's right.
1 pack of milk I used to buy for 2,000 naira. Moved to 2,4, and now it's 3,600. I said I'm not buying. Nobody asked me. I went back myself to say, okay, now I'm ready to buy. But because I just thought this used to be 2,000 naira for this carton just months ago. Why in God's name am I buying for 3,600? How much has my salary increased in that? And that's
the problem.
So for people who earn salary,
your earning power is the same, but your purchasing power
but
has
for
dropped.
Traders, I think they're beat in luck because they can put in a bit more price and then
get
can still
profits.
But for salary earners,
So inflation, when it goes up, the Nigerian inflation right now is 15.9%. Right, it's insane. So inflation affects everybody, everything. You were all talking about electricity and everything. I've actually always thought that Nigerians were spoiled with what they pay for utility in this country. Utility is expensive all over the world. That's just how it is. And I think the unfortunate thing is, though, that in Nigeria, when they did the privatization, you have the Gencos, you had the discos, each was not done properly for want of a description.
Absolutely.
And that's where we've been let down. Also, the same goes for what's happening with oil. Subsidies been removed. What
Has
happens?
it?
Well, to an extent, right? This is the thing. When you liberalize a sector,
Open
right?
market.
Exactly. You leave it for the market to decide, and we are the market, etc., etc. Now, airpins. Did you know? This is going to shock you. You now buy airpins one airpin for 20 naira, where you used to buy a pack for airpin.
Talk about
so
razor
don't
blade.
even talk exactly
Razor blade.
So not even food now. Airpin. I mean, you buy one for 20 naira. So that's just to tell you how absolutely ridiculous we've gone. You talked about insecurity and we talked about greed. Greed is human. Look, greed is, there are good attributes and bad attributes in all of us, right? And greed is not just a Nigerian thing, trust me. It's a global thing. So I don't like to look, I often don't like it when they say, you know, over here, our traders are doing this. I just stop it. Go anywhere else in the world. They are doing that. It's just the lay of the land. Where there is an opportunity, it's human nature
take advantage
of that opportunity.
Right.
Unfortunately, what we do have in a country like this is where, you know, inflation has gone up 15% to, 15.9%. The organization cannot afford to actually increase your salaries to meet you. Why is that though? Because inflation in Nigeria is not being managed. So we're not having inflation go up like every 8 years or whatever, like it does in other countries.
Right.
Where it's going up literally like every couple of months.
Yeah.
Now your organization cannot continue to increase your salary every couple of months, because otherwise they're going to go bankrupt. But like you rightly said, women, the market woman can afford to do that because she's buying whatever she's buying according to the inflation of the day.
And
So
she
got to sell it.
And she can mark up accordingly.
She has
on her prices.
She absolutely has to.
Quickly, we need to move on ahead. We still have loads and loads of grounds to cover. We're going to start right now with the Twitter ban. That also might.
Where's the
Let's shake it.
Break the table.
I'm going to start with Freeze on this one. Then we'll come to Emmanuel.
Yes.
It's not a trap. It's not a trap.
Bell the
Let's start from the virtual guys joining us. Freeze will go. The Emmanuel will follow. I will follow. Freeze, let's hear from you. The Twitter ban.
We have lived. You see, since I'm on air, I have to speak in a balanced form. So I'm going to try to give some justification for it, and at the same time also try to make you realize why it is also wrong at the same time. So let's start with the justification. We've seen quite a lot of damage done with an unregulated social media in the hands of uneducated people. It is dangerous. Social media is as dangerous as a loaded AK-47. In the hands of an illiterate or an ignorant person, it is 10 times worse. We all saw the riots that were fueled by the xenophobia attacks in South Africa, because videos of up to 8 years ago were suddenly released to the internet, and people thought they were new videos, and they went on rampage. Now, this rampage was fueled by ignorance. They started beating up Chinese people down the road from my house. I saw them almost kill 2 Chinese people, if not for the intervention of the police. They didn't understand what xenophobia was. They didn't understand this particular scenario. They didn't understand that it was black South Africans against black Nigerians. They just thought foreigners, and they went on rampage against Indians, destroyed Nigerian properties simply because they were housing a foreign brand, and so on. It was devastating and destructive. So we need to be careful with an unregulated social media. In as much as it's the opportunity for people to air their views and concerns, it can also, in the wrong hands, be extremely dangerous. However, the Twitter ban now, what's the justification for banning Twitter? Did they go through due process? Or was it a statement that was leaning towards the reflection of a genocide where some people suffered immensely, we have to ask those pertinent questions. Was it really done in the best interest of the public, or was it done to, quote and unquote, wear a jacket on somebody's already inflated ego? It's a question, and it demands answers. So let's look at it from both sides.
All right.
What was the motive behind it?
All right, Freeze, thank you. Emmanuel, quickly.
Okay. All right. First, I've got to mention that I honestly consider till this second the Twitter ban unnecessary, Sheriff. The motive for the ban, I'm not certain where it emanated from. As I speak, I'm not certain it's helped deflate the inflation the food sector is currently experiencing. It's we can be all emotional about this, and at the same time approach this conversation with common sense, which is where I'm coming from. A chunk of the guys who are active on social media, okay, since we're talking about the one that's been suspended, Twitter, not everyone is concerned about trying to unseat the government. Some of the guys who are there find that medium as an avenue for them to also sustain themselves. Influencers who get gigs, who get commercial gigs, since the last 2-3 weeks, almost a month, have struggled immensely, and it's such a shame. In all fairness, if this, in all fairness, I think that similar act from the government just shows, how in order of priority, what they consider as important to them. I mean, we've spoken on the platform of security issues. We've spoken about children being kidnapped. The sort of speed they use, that expedited the Twitter ban, if it's channeled into other sector where concerns are ongoing, it's going to help the country grow. So for me, genuinely, I just think it's a waste of effort and very, very unfortunate in a nutshell.
Oh.
I've been laughing from side to side here. You know the thing they say about Emmanuel talks about whether the ban on Twitter or suspension of Twitter in Nigeria has affected the cost of food in the market or reduced inflation, cost, or insecurity. Is the question, because I have a planning background, they would ask, what is the correlation between the solution to a problem? And obviously, this one has failed absolutely in dealing with the real problems which face us as a country. A couple of years ago in the United States, this so-called monster called social media then was the topic of discussion. And the question I asked them, have you found a way on how to deal with it? And they said, no, we want to know whether you found a way on how to deal with it. Many years down the line, you see that we haven't really found a way in dealing with it. A ban most likely would be a quick solution in resolving what it should be. In any other way, the sort of discussion I see that has been emanating following the suspension is what I love. I love the fact that people say, okay, if you're going to have a body to regulate, it should be independent. I can't remember who said in the hands of anyone. I think it was Freeze. In the hands of the wrong guys, in the hands of the good guys, it's still a problem. In the hands of government, it's still a problem. It has to be independent. Yeah. And finally, on the lighter side, the dream team that has been put up by the government that has the Minister of has Fashola, has Lai Mohammed, and has all of the who's in government. I wanted to see what the Twitter, the Twitter dream team. Let's say Twitter puts all the Nigerians in that Nigeria. Who get there and the first thing they say is, hi Fash, and Fashola will say, Bapalo play Fash,
NYB Fash.
So I'd love to see that Twitter dream team when they do, but we know where the money is at the end, huh?
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pause, take a quick break. When we return from that break, we'll try and give out our teaser or poser, if you like, to see if we can give somebody some free gifty. No, not you.
That person is Nathan.
Calming down.
Nobody here.
How can you break my heart like that?
I'm sorry.
It's only for those that pay more money for lights.
I do too.
All of a sudden.
Let's go to break, gentlemen. We'll be right back. Stay here, Lagos.
Nigerian Communications Commission has ordered mobile network operators.
Shaping our present and the future.
Don't block anything.
The vast majority of men and women of the police force are hardworking and diligent in performing their duties.
Policies and its makers.
I have been crying out. What is there in our time now is that the cost of government is too much.
Community and the dwellers.
Stop playing the ostrich. I came here now and the officers are saying I cannot exercise my rights.
We bring them all to you. The news on Nigeria Info. Top of the hour, every hour. Nigeria Info News. Let's talk.
When you haven't used your SIM for quite a while, you start to worry. You start to calculate the last time you recharged, or the last time you got a call on that line, or a credit alert, or even just a flash. But thanks to Glow Always On, you can rest easy and never worry about any of that. Because with just 500 naira, you stay connected to the Glow network even if your SIM is inactive. Just dial *777# and select Always On to subscribe. Glow Unlimited.
Football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, a tournament with a difference, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global, and the cast nationwide.
They seem to keep hold of the ball, see so much of the ball, but at the end of the day, they tend to do little or nothing with the ball.
Floated into the box. It's in. A player who's been having a renaissance after season. He connected to the pass like a socket. Fired the shot like a rocket. From no other person but Rafael Varane.
All they want to do is sit back, where your weaknesses, and then when they get the ball, they counter-attack you.
It was a brilliant piece of play by Karim Benzema. But they decide against that counter-attack and go all the way back. That's beautiful. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 38 meters. This is your goal of the week.
When you defend, you can defend for 91 minutes, and just for 1 minute, everything will change.
He completes his hat trick. He's in the pursuit of perfection.
Best days are behind him already, and the young managers have taken up the mantle.
Covering every blade of grass for a full month, from 11th June to 11th July 2021, on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 on Nigeria Info. It's live football, just the way you like it.
8 times 500 naira, 4,000 naira. 8 times 5,000. Hey!
I beg. Where on they see this money?
Money care. Now the ogbonge bonus where they sama me as I buy new SIM card. See, then they give me double data subscription plus 8 times a woof anytime I recharge.
Oh boy, got some for me now.
You know, say you fit buy SIM card now from any accredited Airtel shop. Just go there with your NIN, just like that.
Sure, guy.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your #1 station for talk. Let's talk. This is a Nigeria Info special broadcast.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you. If you are just joining us, it's 11:30 from our studios this Monday morning, and you're on to the last half hour of the Roundtable. We'll be dropping our teaser in a moment, where we would be giving people what's they call that thing? That thing they used to cook cook rice cooker, Abby? Or giving people pressure cooker, pressure cooker. Oh. We'll be giving people clippers.
I mean, get to it.
Sandals, shoes, really? Shirts, dresses, Armani? And everything. Leave me alone.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the teaser will be dropped in a moment. So let me come to Emmanuel before we get on to talk about our next topic this morning. I will be dropping the teaser in a moment, so you can go and try your luck to be the winner. We have loads of them, so don't be deterred. Even when 20 people must have dropped their answers, you drop your own too. You never can tell. Maybe you'll be one of the winners.
You get lucky.
Yeah. Emmanuel, are you with us? Are you with us? Oh, Emmanuel is frozen. I just saw that now. Emmanuel, sorry, yeah? Sorry, Pele. Now, quickly, gentlemen, let's move on. We have plenty of people online, our colleagues who are joining via Skype, by the way. Let's move on quickly. Let's talk about Issa Pantami. He also made it into the news this year on two different occasions. One was the NIN that he said people must go and get registered for their NIN and link their NIN. He gave deadline, let's not say ultimatum, deadline for people to go get their SIMs linked to their NIN. On the other hand, he also got into the news when some certain videos or audios, if you like, depends on which one that you came across, got leaked into the public space about his former ideologies and current ideology. He responded to it. The government responded to it. It really shook the entire country. Joyce Oyemuwa is here. She's been around since the beginning of the program, but we couldn't find space for her online. We couldn't find space for her offline. Oh, finally, Joyce is here. Joyce, hi, good morning to you.
Good morning to everybody. Hello. Welcome to radio.
Yes, we're going to start with you on Issa Pantami's conversation. What's your thoughts?
What I really want to say, you won't let me say.
You can't say what you told me that you wanted to say.
Yeah, great. So let me speak on the NIN.
Okay.
They have your information. So recently I went to retrieve my old line, and they asked for BVN. What's the other one? NIN. And I said I didn't have it. And then he said to me, so what's the number you registered with? Now remember, let me help simplify it.
Yeah.
The number that I registered with wasn't the one I went to retrieve. It was a different network altogether.
Okay.
So I gave him the number of, a different network, which was the one I registered my NIN with, and he put it in his system, and my details came up. They have it. So I'm thinking, so why are you telling me to link? You have it. I mean, once you register, they have your details.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but maybe there's something that I don't know, but they have your information. Yeah, they have it.
Fantastic.
That's what I want to say.
A lot of people criticize Issa Pantami because we were still in the middle of pandemic when he told people to go and get registered, and a lot of people said they weren't going to do that. Some also went to get registered, and they complained. This morning, someone called me and talked about how her sister, got compelled by that ultimatum, by that deadline given. The sister contracted COVID and he lost his sister, and he said he wasn't going to forgive Issa Pantami for exposing her sister. He's holding Pantami responsible for the loss of her sister, Natalie.
Yes. Now, before I move on to his newly found self, I want to talk about the NIN conversation. We remember there was a time where some people called on radio and said their fellow Nigerians was asking them to pay a fee to register. Does anybody remember? Yes.
Right.
And this still buttress the point that Ada was trying to say, that when the average Nigerian has the opportunity, to extort the fellow, they would do it. Now, we're not talking about inflation here. We're not talking about how things work. But this is your fellow Nigerian. You knew what was going on in the middle of a pandemic. You still wanted people to pay. I don't know if it was Joyce or Sandra that had somebody call on air, and this person was crying and talking about how he cannot, he can't stay anymore. We saw a lot of videos on social media. So this also still buttresses the point that even the average Nigerian, we need to, look into ourselves and do better. And who knows? You might find yourself in power, and hopefully you do better.
Right.
Now, let me talk about the new Pantami, because according to him,
why do you think is new?
Because that's what he claims to be. I mean, that's his new belief. You know, he didn't understand. Yes, you're allowed to make mistake. I want to believe that everybody here at some point evolved. That's what growth really is about. You should evolve. You learn, you unlearn, you relearn, and all of that. So you coming out to say that you no longer believe in that, it's understandable. We forgive you. But my question is, how do you occupy that office? You know, how with the law, how does the law still allow you occupy that office? There's no problem if that's what you used to think and you no longer believe it. Yeah. But if we want to go by the way things should be done, in my opinion, I believe Issa should have
honorably resigned.
Yes, that's the word, resigned at some point. You know, just excuse yourself of the shame and just resign. And people will say, oh, well, he's a changed man. But you refuse to resign. You sit there, and I mean, it's just what it is at this point.
Let me drop this teaser before I bring on Ufoma. So this is the question that you get to answer if you want to win some of the lovely goodies that we have for you today. We're asking you to list the names of the tabs on the Nigeria Info's official website. Tabs are pages that you can click on that you usually see when you visit a website. Those things are at the top or at the side, right or left or top. Yeah, those are tabs. So name them, the ones that are on the Nigeria Info website. Name and send us your answers to 0809 597 5805. You're not going to call on air and answer that question. You're going to send a message, a WhatsApp message, 0809 597 5805. That's just the question you need to answer. You can win pressure cooker, clipper. I think we have
can I win clipper
water heater.
I need a new one.
To do what?
I need a new clipper. Mine
to do what?
Mine is a bit
to
old
to
now.
do what?
What
are you doing?
To
clip up.
Ufoma is here. Ufoma, Issa Pantami.
Issa Pantami. I wish we stay had like 3 more hours, because trust me, you can talk about Issa Pantami for the next 3 hours and you won't get tired. But seriously speaking, to just first off, the whole NIN thing, I think it showed a government that was insensitive. It showed a government that absolutely did not care. On one hand, you're restricting people. You know, businesses have closed. People can't go to cinemas, except, of course, 25%. Event centers have been asked not to have full capacities. Yeah. On one hand, you're doing that. On the other hand, you're still telling people deadlines. You know, if you don't register, this and that will happen to you, that and that will happen to you. But that's by the way. As regards Nata talking about him claiming to have changed, yes, you know, you can have a change of opinion as you grow. But here's the thing: I thought that the government's response was actually appalling. You know, they try to lie. You know, while trying to defend the minister, they tried to lie and talk about how he made some of those comments when he was in his 20s. But of course, we know that some of those comments were were made when he was already in his 30s, just as recent as 2010, 2006, not so far away. But let's even move away from that. As minister, Issa Pantami actually gave out a contract to stream events of the Ministry of Digital Economy to a station that has absolutely no iota of presence on social media. Now, the big TV stations in Nigeria, the big radio stations in Nigeria Info on its own has 1 million Twitter followers.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
We have a good presence on Facebook, Instagram, you know, building up. The Ministry of Digital Economy did not see Nigeria Info that had that kind of presence. The minister gave the contract to stream events of the ministry to an Arabic TV station that, if you check their presence, their videos are 10 views, 5 views, 7 views. Absolutely no presence at all. That tells you that, whatever excuse he might give, whatever ideas I had 15 years ago, 10 years ago, he was already showing it even as Minister of Digital Economy. So to a large extent, in a sane society, Mr. Pantami has absolutely no business being our minister today. You saw what happened in the UK over the weekend. The minister was caught on tape, flouting his own rules, and there was no prime minister to come and defend him.
He mentioned it earlier, and he did the right thing.
He had no choice but to do the right thing. Because guess what? In some countries, citizens matter, right?
True.
That's the long and short of it. But about Pantami, I think everybody said pretty much what needs to be said. So I'm going to talk about the other side of that story, which is data, right? We all agree that data is critical to the survival of any country, especially today, right? Data is life. Data is key. Data is everything. What we must also agree on is the fact that in Nigeria, one of the things that's actually preventing our growth and development, and when I say growth and development, I'm actually talking about the actually realistic growth and development and planning and education and hospital, yada yada yada, is the lack of clean data. So we guesstimate, right, all the time, rather than accurate, right? Yes, don't get me wrong. Yemi Kale's team, they're doing the best that they can.
Amazing
They're
job
doing the best that they can, but unfortunately, they too have to work with data that you can't necessarily be 100% sure of, because we have a country that's so vast in land, in people, in language, and everything. So the things like NIN are important. The question is, when you have NIN and you have BVN and you have another N coming in, you start to get dizzy, because how many more times can you N? Like, how many more times can you collect my name? How many more times can you collect my date of birth? How do I morph into a different person every year? If I do, then I shouldn't be alive, right? So it's that kind of madness. So what you're having here is the fact that this data is being collected in several different places, but nobody's actually pulling them together. All that actually needed to happen is you pull every single data bank that you have in Nigeria, pull them together, sit down, get a team, and start doing some data cleansing. From doing that data cleansing, you will be able to identify that, number one, we know that this is wrong because of. So you make certain suppositions. That's what you do, right? So from those suppositions, you then create a plan to go out and actually answer those questions. It's that simple, really, right?
Let's go.
So why
virtual.
are they not doing it?
Let's go virtual very quickly. Emmanuel, can you hear us now? Emmanuel, can you hear me?
So July 1st is...
Oh, Emmanuel, I don't know where July 1st is coming in, but it's okay. I can't hear you, basically. But let me quickly take some calls. I know I see how people in the studio who would like to jump in on this one. But again, let me reiterate one more time that to win some of our goodies today, you need to just do one thing and one thing only. Very simple. Go to our website. Check out the tabs that you can see on the front page of the website, on the homepage of the website, and then list them. Answer that question. Send us your WhatsApp message with your answers, and we'll pick the first. I don't know. I think we have plenty of gifts to give away, so let me not put a number to it. But you would get, if you are one of those first correct answers, you would get called, and then you will be told how you can come retrieve your prizes. Again, we just want to know the tabs on the homepage of Nigeria Info's website. Now, this is where the trick is. If you don't know Nigeria Info's website, should we help them and tell them the website?
Help them.
Okay, that's how we should help you. NigeriaInfo.fm, that's the address. NigeriaInfo.fm, that's the address. Now let's go to the telephone and hear people's opinion. Okay, Emmanuel is here. Emmanuel, finally you're here. Emmanuel, welcome.
Hi. Yes, I had to reconnect. So what's the question, Sheriff?
Yes,
talking about the collation of data.
We're talking about Issa Pantami. He made the news on two fronts. The one that he said people should go and register in the middle of COVID, and the other one that the audio and video surfaced about his former ideology and
Well, I think Socketly, Iriti has summarized perfectly, in all fairness. When you've got duplication of data, it's crucial. I don't think there's any sane country or society that don't pay concern to data, to numbers. That's how you can estimate, how to govern a country. So I think, one avenues to document legal citizens should be welcomed. But when you've got an international passport, you've got your BVN, you've got all the other instances, the driver's license, that you could actually identify a Nigerian, and still you want all of this formation of data collation. I just think it's another avenue. Hard to say this, but that opens up that conversation about possible embezzlement.
Yeah.
And during the COVID period, that was quite insensitive. And up until this second, there's still that talk of when it's going to end. I just think sometimes most of those who are in power just go with knee-jerk reactions to issues that they could just sit down and have a roundtable as we're doing and provide better solutions. So one, it was unnecessary. Yes, just copy us basically. But fundamentally, I think there's no society that wouldn't be keen and pay so much interest in data accumulation.
Right, Joyce?
I really think that what I find rather disappointing, and I think maybe also in the same breath, I'm grateful that it's evident that our leaders are not necessarily futuristic. And I don't know where we could be going in our tomorrow as a nation if the people who are leading us are not necessarily organized and strategic. You have the data. The question is, what are you doing with it? It would appear that they think that maybe the people would not necessarily know enough to question competence, their organization, and their planning and their strategy. So I think, again, as I said before, there is a gap between the people and the government, but more of a burden would be that I think I fault the government because they're showing, all their gaps are showing, the weaknesses are showing, and it would appear maybe it's not necessarily the guy at the top is the one to whom he delegates, but there's just too much of a weak link for us to say that the future of this country can really be of our dreams if these are the men that we have in power. Really,
it's been awesome having you guys here, but we're not going to go anywhere until we talk about another big event, and that is Euro 2020. Yes.
Emmanuel! We'll leave that for them.
What do you mean?
But there is no controversy.
No, but it's big, it's huge. Emmanuel, let's talk Euro 2020. First and foremost, I want to know how Nigeria Info
finally
did the magic did the magic and got the broadcast right on radio of that tournament. That is huge. How did you do it?
It wasn't me. Don't make it seem
It wasn't me.
I'm the CEO, but it was a team effort. It's always been something we try to do on Nigeria Info, the Kuwazobia Info Arewa network, just to mention, Sheriff, to be first to the action, as the payoff line says, live football just the way you like it, and occasionally it stretches to live sports. It was always in the pipeline after our successful coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, partnered with Quest Sports as the exclusive broadcast partners pan Nigeria. So it wasn't surprising that when the opportunity came and we went into that negotiation successfully with MBS, and now, as you know, since June, it's been only on Nigeria Info and stretched out stations that the live coverage has been on our dial, and it's going to continue up until the finale, and subsequently when the new campaign begins. There's so much to offer. Nigeria Info, obviously, not to brag, but number one when it comes to talk, I think maybe news and importantly sports. Yes.
Indeed. Ufama, you've been following the Euro 2020 matches. Any surprises yet?
Not really. I'm not sure I've seen much of surprises, to be honest. I always expected that the big guns were going to be the big guns.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's been one big topical issue from Euro 2020, it's got to be one that had health issues. Christian Eriksen, the Denmark and Inter Milan midfielder, just collapsed. It was, to be very honest,
it was quite scary,
I wasn't watching live.
Oh,
I was just pressing my phone. The TV was off, And then I checked my Twitter DM, and my colleague, Kalela, our colleague in Port Harcourt, was literally crying in my DM. And I was like, what's wrong with you? So are you not watching TV? That's when I switched on, the TV screens, and of course saw how everybody was.
It was quite scary.
It was crazy. It was really crazy. But of course, he put out, or he made us realize how much, the thin line between life and death. And of course, to a large extent, it also justified why several changes were made, after a similar incident happened some years ago, to ensure that facilities, to help resuscitate people, are right there in the stadium,
that's right.
just in case.
Because that's what saved Eriksen's
exactly.
life.
That's what saved Eriksen, and we could have possibly been talking about something else.
Right.
Thankfully, we're not so certain if he's going to still play football again.
He
but
certainly
the good news
can't.
is that
he's got the equivalent of a pacemaker, hasn't he? So
That's
he
right.
certainly can't.
That's right.
But Euro, I bet you weren't looking at me when you were talking about Euro as if I'm not a Liverpool supporter, you cheeky person, you.
You like where your past fights.
As in, I don't understand.
I'm sorry.
Clearly you're not a Liverpool supporter. That's
No,
why,
I'm not.
No, that's why you
I'm
are
not.
what you are. That's never. No, but there hasn't been any surprises, and the big guns are still there, and it's still very exciting. But I like to root for the underdog in this case, and I was really sad to see Wales go out.
I knew you were going to say
I've got
Wales.
to say, it was so sweet.
But
it was
they
so
didn't- they
sad.
didn't-
Yeah, but I know
good enough.
they were eviscerated. I mean, it was sad. 4-0. Who does that? What's the point of even turning up, let alone going back home? So you cover your head in shame, and you're like, "Don't talk to me, wife," and turn the phone off. I don't know him, But I thought that was really, really sad. England is through.
Y'all
to the
are going
16th.
home tomorrow.
Well, perhaps we will wait till tomorrow, and we'll say goodbye.
We'll ship you rating back to it.
And we'll say goodbye.
We'll just move you back to England.
But the question is, are we now going to be clapping for France or who? Because I used to. We're done.
News and
Euro.
after this.
Hello, good afternoon. How may I help you, please?
Yes, I would like to buy data to watch plenty videos. You know now, music, sports, in short, everything on YouTube.
What is your budget, sir?
As low as possible.
Well, how does 50 naira for an hour sound?
50 naira for 1 hour? Ha! Talk true!
Yes, with Glow YouTube plan, you can stream all your favorite YouTube videos for as low as 50 naira.
Hey, what do I do?
Simply dial *777# to get started.
Get the super affordable YouTube time-based plans from Glow and start feasting on your favorite YouTube videos for as low as 50 naira for 1 hour during the day and 50 naira for 5 hours at night. Dial *777#. Select data, select social bundle, and select YouTube to choose the Glow YouTube plan that's just right for you.
Glow Unlimited.
You asked for it, and it's back.
It's a roundtable here, special broadcast on Nigeria Info. We've got the entire team here.
Oh my God, the year of first. That's what 2020 has been. It's the year of first.
You're doing empowerment for youth. You give them bikes, you give them marijuana, and then years after, you tell them not to use them.
I feel like there's a huge disconnect between the government
It's the Nigeria Info Roundtable.
and the actual consequence of poverty in Nigeria.
These are debts that can be avoidable if we just do the right thing.
All your favorite Nigeria Info presenters on air at the same time.
And the third person was an entrepreneur.
We missed the second person.
They all.
We missed the second
person. The first person, Sheriff, I can send it to you on WhatsApp.
All the biggest stories from the first half of 2021. Analyzed by the biggest voices on radio.
I am Sheriff Quadri, Lagos, Nigeria.
My name is Wemimo Adewunis.
You're hanging out with the techest steel.
My name's Joyce Onyemowa.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Date 28th of June, Monday. Time 9 a.m. Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Apollo, my guy. How every now?
Benjo, what is now? That is money you just call me.
See, 9 Mobile, they give me call bonus while I finish.
Now all my guys go here.
If you never recharge your 9 mobile line for 40 days or more, recharge 200 naira and above, and we go summer you 6 times your recharge and double data bonus.
I'll follow my guy.
I go block you now. You go see am.
Terms and conditions day. 9 mobile.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Oh, the shows, okay.
Yes. We're back. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We need to go now. Many thanks to everybody that empowered the show. So what we're going to do now is everybody on this show this morning would introduce every one of them to you and their shows. So for those who are not used to other shows, they can get familiar. I will start. My name is Sheriff Quadri People, and I anchor the Morning Crossfire. Oh yeah, say your own now. Wait, what's wrong with your mic?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
You're Sheriff Quadri People.
Yeah.
I had to say that. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. I host Table Talk Mondays 9 to 10 and Hot Takes. I send him on leave every Friday, 5 a.m. till 9.
Right.
There's somebody else calling us on what's her name?
Andrea.
After a year. And then there's me. You know me. My name is Joyce Onyemoa. I'm on the sunny side.
Okay. Who is going next? Anybody.
Okay,
can go
so
next.
let me quickly go. My name is Nata, but before I tell you, Masha.
No. Tell me your name and your
Okay,
show.
my name is Nata. I'm the host of the Sunday morning show. Starts at 6 and end at 11.
She's Nata Lee.
Nata Lee, a.k.a.
Yes, please, sir.
Right, my name is Ireti Bakari Yusuf. I have 2 shows, unlike everybody else. I have the Listed Lego show.
Like me.
I have there you go, like Wemimo. That explains a lot. That's why we're sitting opposite each other. I have the Listed Lego show, which is on 6:30 on Thursdays.
On Thursday.
And I have Done for Conversations, which is live in conversation with a guest every Friday from 1 o'clock to 2:30. And please send Sheriff a message because he's supposed to expand my time, as you all have been asking for.
Why the setup? Emmanuel.
It is
yes,
what it is.
Emmanuel, please.
We'll extend her time, certainly.
Thank you.
On behalf of the entire sports team, you know how to catch a sports drive, football frenzy, game on, and of course the live coverage.
Ada?
Where's she? Oh.
Is she still there?
Ada, are you here? I can see
Yes,
Ada.
I
here.
am.
Okay, go on.
I am your radio girlfriend, Adia Blessing. I
Aww.
host live containers with Daddy Freeze 10 to 12, and I host the chat station 12 midnight to 2 a.m. where we talk about sex.
Fabulous show.
Monday morning.
I must be your guest, Ada. Do call me.
One half of Live and Dangerous. I'm Daddy Freeze, and I co-host Live and Dangerous with Ada every weekday except Fridays. That's Monday through Thursdays from 10 p.m. till midnight. It truly is live and quite dangerous.
Yes,
I can attest to that.
It is.
That is so true. Risky.
Who else do we have virtually? Oh, yes.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. My name is Obo Shaku Maku.
Makushi.
What does he mean?
Don't worry, you've joined the course, you know what it means. I do the program Pinpoint Saturdays as well as Public Square. We go to the Sankoris on Fridays also. Cheap.
And you also host the portal.
With the Lagos Employment Trust Fund.
Right.
Trying to empower people and make sure that they have a good future.
Yeah, word.
Right. Any other person? I'm not sure we have any other person. We have Sandra Ezekwesili on Hard Facts, 3 p.m. weekdays. We have other shows, plenty of them that time will not allow me to mention, but always stay tuned to Nigeria Info. Thank you all for being there for us today. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll be back December for the second
They
part
want you to
of
come every
Hopefully
month.
we have better news to talk about.
Gentlemen, great colleagues, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
coming
Nigel.
on Roundtable this time. We love you all. Stay here on Nigeria Info. It's been amazing. It's really been amazing.
Thank you.
Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.